cold, a million stories yet to be told. Bombers bringing the heat to the screen, Woo! You just got a vision like you've never seen, vision like you never seen. Moans ends locking the gears in the back, we're turning the dial, making the attack. Big freaking Friday show, yeah, we own the night. Let's freaking go, the future is bright. Big freaking Friday show, we're taking the lead. Everything you want, everything you want, everything you need. Clock on the wall is ticking to 10. We're doing it all and then doing it again. I own this show, yeah, it's mine to keep. Wake up the rivals, wake up from the sleep. Big freaking Friday show, yeah, we own the night. Let's freaking go, the future is bright. Big freaking Friday show, we're taking the lead. Everything you want, everything you want, everything you need. Let's freaking go and moan on the mic. Big freaking Friday show, let's freaking go.
Let's freaking go. Hello, welcome to another edition of the Big Freaking Friday Show right here on the College Football Mafia channel. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. With me is my co-host, and we'll be joining another Wild Ute. But Moen's with me right now. I appreciate everybody being here tonight early. How we doing, Moen?
Hey, man, we're flying by the seat of our pants here.
I love it. I love it. Flying by the seat of our pants is where we want to be.
We're here in Club Moen. We're going to have a drink. Again, Tot-Town Huck. The drip. Thank you.
I love it. Your camera's lagging a little bit, just so you know. I don't know if that's a graphics thing or something, but that way at least know what's going on. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here. It is the second to last Friday, or the first games are next weekend, right? So it's the last official full weekend without college football. Isn't that right, Moen? Don't we play games next week?
That's correct. Week 0 kicks off next week.
I love it. That's great. It should be week 1. Let's all be very honest. And if we're going to play the playoff before the end of the year on New Year's, like it should be, we would have to go this weekend. We'll have to become the new week 1, but we're a little off from that. So there were some rule changes that allowed these games to happen earlier and earlier. I think next year they're going to be able to go on this year. So, I mean, not this year, this spot next year, if they wanted to play games. So we'll have to see. The college football playoff negotiations certainly will have a little bit to say about that. How do you feel about playing the second to last weekend in August, playing college football?
Yeah, I think the college football season should be moved up. I like mid-August as a starting point.
Yeah.
I think it just, listen, there's not, all you have is preseason NFL.
Right.
You've got basically, you can have games that matter that are definitely going to get people's attention. So I don't understand why they don't do it already, but hey, that's me. I'm somebody with a brain. So
I think a lot of that is old thinking too, if we really look at history, because of the way they used to run training camps, 2-a-days, in the heat without any restrictions. I think that's where those rules originally came out in the 80s and 90s, where people were basically killing their athletes to get ready for a college football season. They're like, no, we can't start any earlier. So if they would start earlier, obviously they could back up the sooner that they could actually come on campus. And it's not that hard of a deal. I don't know why they don't just say, yes, we'll do that. But the college football playoff negotiations certainly could be a driver of that. Anyway, glad to have everybody here tonight. Let's get a quick set of shout outs here as we get into the shows. We're waiting for Wild Ute to join us. TF Williams was first in the house. TF Williams is a member of the College Football Mafia family. Hey, y'all, go Noles. Now, what's he talking about here? Go Noles. Moen, was there some Florida State news this week?
Maybe he's just excited for the season, Bomber. You ever think of that? I mean, come on, there. He's just
I think
pumped. He wants to see if Mike Norvell is going to get fired or if he's going to actually pull off a win.
Well, I personally believe that Florida State is agitating to amend that PCSA, which we'll get to in a little bit, with Miami and Clemson. They won out, and there's a few other schools, and but we'll get to that in just a little bit. I was just teasing you a little bit. Anyway, Daniel, the other Gygax, says, hi, everyone. Good to have you here tonight, Daniel. Thanks for joining the show. By the way, let's announce this, and let me change the banner. Tonight we are doing our SEC preview. Let me get to the right banner that I have going right now, that I will just change this so everybody knows what we're doing, because Mullen put in a ton of work once we gave him our picks, and I want to make sure everybody knows exactly what we're talking about tonight. So that's the new bar underneath there. Everybody can see. Good to have you here, Daniel. Greg's Disney Adventures, also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. You mean less? Well, we'll find out, I guess. He's also says he's fourth. Outlaw Skies somehow is always fifth, whether he is or not. Appreciate you being here tonight, Outlaw Skies. Outlaw Skies and Greg's Disney Adventures are a super fan of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Moen, we got a bunch of Ohio State people in the house tonight.
Hey, listen, we don't die, we just multiply.
I love that too. But on the other side, where are we going? Marcus Williams says, let's go blue, and we lost Moen again. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I'll just continue to run this. We don't need them anyway. Marcus Williams, good to have you here tonight. Thank you so much for joining the show. We appreciate you. Let's go blue. So Marcus is also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia. And we tag on to that, Skaven, yes, go Big Red. Hello, Bomber, Moen, and Ute. That is the Nebraska Cornhuskers being shouted out there by Skaven, yes. Go Big Red is something I'm happy to say. We need more. We just need more Nebraska. That's the only way I can put it. Let's see here. Caden the Diesel Freak says, let's go. Good to have you here tonight, Caden. Let's see. I'm trying to get to new comments before we move on. Antoine Johnson is a super fan, if there is one, a super booster of the Arizona State Sun Devils. Arizona State's one of those teams that a lot of people are undervaluing, I think. I was a little harsh with them on the picks for the Big 12. They have every opportunity to step up and do what they did a couple years ago and come and win this conference, this Big 12 conference. So we're not talking Big 12 tonight, but Antoine Johnson's got us covered anyway. He says, hey, y'all, good to have you here, to Antoine. Let's see, get to more new comments. MM1012MD, Stanford opposed 19-5. Yep, I have that story bookmarked. We will get to it. I was teasing Moen a little bit about Florida State. We know Miami and Clemson are a part of that agitation. So, yeah, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Let's see here. Friends call me Sean. Good to have you here, friends call me Sean, who is a BYU fan. So it's always good to have one of them in the house with us. Perfect blend for the Big Ten. Miami, Georgia Tech, FSU, and Utah. Gives the Big Ten the SEC Southeastern presence it wants. Bridges gap between Mountain West and Pacific Coast. Makes West Coast schools happy. Leaves 2 spots for Notre Dame and another West Coast school. I don't think so. Friends call me Sean, but whatever. Yeah. I think you got some of that right. We would have to see long term. But I definitely don't. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But I appreciate you being here tonight. Bulldog Mississippi. Bulldog Mississippi is an OG at this point of the College Football Mafia family. Good to have you here tonight. Bulldog, Evening Mafia is what he says. Good to have you here tonight. Everything Texas State. So we need more Texas State. I'm all for you. Go out and win some ball games, will you? I want Texas State to win. I want Texas State to win well in the Pac-12. It's an exciting time for this program, and I will be cheering for them in the background because I love the schools that stepped up. I love North Dakota State stepping up. I think that's fantastic too. So go out and win some ball games. Everything Texas State. I'm on your side. I am on your side. Becky Go Husky says, hello, show. Good to have you here tonight, Becky. Becky's a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Good to have her here tonight. Hello, show. That's a great reply. Outlaw Skies wants more cowbell. I'm all for that. Bob Swanger checking in. Penn State Nittany Lion coming in and being here for representing a program that, boy, they took the best out of Iowa State, took their coach. I think Penn State could be a lot better than people are going to assume with the change in leadership and the change in direction for that program. And I'm always going to be cheering for Penn State. Absolutely love the whiteouts. And yeah, it's a fantastic place to watch football. So good to have you here tonight, Bob. Kenneth Maynor says, good evening. Good to have you here, Kenneth. Also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. David Sabinosh says, good evening, gentlemen. It's just me right now. I'm not sure where Moen has gone to. I'm sure he'll come back. He won't leave me alone too long. So Kenneth Maynor, thank you so much for being here tonight. David Sabinosh, good evening, gentlemen. I appreciate you being here as well, David. All right. Well, we're waiting for Moen and Ute to join. We've run through everybody that I was going to shout. No, I didn't. I missed Edward the Auburn Tiger. I'm sorry, Edward. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much representing the Southeastern Conference. I want your opinions about where your conference is going to come out because we're going to talk SEC football tonight. So I'd love to have everybody's opinions on that. We will be going and reviewing that stuff, and hopefully there's enough there that I'm not sure where I had Auburn. I think just below the top four. My picks might pop up, and I have Auburn 8th. I can't remember. I'll be perfectly honest. But the SEC is always tough. And you get 9 games. It's not guaranteed CFP. Got to get 10 games. You got to win 10 games, Edward. Unless you're Texas. And I'm just teasing. So let's see where that goes. But certainly glad to have Edward here. Also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Let's see if there's any new. Nope. No one's. Ute's coming. He's a little late, and Moen's got crappy internet. So, all right. Well, you guys know I don't sit around and let the lilies grow. I'm going to get to a few of the stories that came out this week. I think I'm going to start. Well, no, that's Ute's article. I don't want to start with that one. Let's start with this one. Okay, we all know the athletes, the fifth-year seniors are wanting, not fifth year, they're not even, the 2022 athletes that had technically run out of their, and I don't know why it's displaying that one. That's not the one I want. That's a weird, no, it's not it either. I don't know. These graphics for this are jacked up. I'm gonna have to fix them. It's kind of screwy. I guess we'll go here, but that's even not big enough. Let me get rid of comments. Let's go hide current comment. Oh wait, while we're doing that, before I will remove this, and out of nowhere, look at this. We have 5 gifted memberships. 5 gifted memberships to the College Football Mafia family. Good to have you here, Ute. You're a little late to the party, brother. I'm glad you're here. Glad to have you. We have 5 gifted memberships today from the Bulldog, Mississippi. Bulldog, Mississippi's giving out the bells. Let's go. You want to shake that thing? I can't hear it.
You can't hear that?
I didn't hear that. No. Do it again. Can you show everybody what you're banging? I can't. I think it's not close enough to the microphone. There we go. There we go. That Utah Ute Bulldog, Mississippi bell. We love to have that. Thank you so much. The people who got those gifted memberships are the Bell Rock, Troy, 1997, Dan from Oregon, Ash. Let's see, Ansh Gaming, I guess, and Nittany 89. Glad to have you here, Moen. How were those gifted memberships given out by Bulldog, Mississippi?
You can gift memberships, leave super chats, leave super stickers, or become a member all by clicking that little cash icon at the bottom of the chat window. That helps us keep the lights on around here. It lets us keep the drip flowing here at Club Moen, over at Casa de Bomber, over in the bunker that is Wild Ute. He's in fear for his life from Cougar Board.
I doubt that.
It helps us keep the lights on around here, and we do appreciate everybody who does contribute any way you choose to contribute, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and pay it forward. If you received a gifted membership, two things. You have two responsibilities. Consider paying it forward, giving somebody else a gifted membership to the College Football Mafia family, and also shout out the guy who gave you the person who gave you the membership for free. They did something that they didn't have to, and they deserve a shout out in the comments. So make sure you take care of that as well. Okay, Ute, before I get to any articles, how did Ute's assault on Cougar Board go last night?
Look, so we talked about Cougar Board a lot last night, members only live stream. I thought there was some really good trolls in there and stuff, but like I'm used to those type of delivery of trolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of our audience thought they were kind of like more soft, but I would call them more wholesome, and that's exactly what I would expect because that's exactly kind of what I know. But they were a little confused in how there was limited venom in some of them, and also obviously no curse words on Cougar Board. So it shocked some of the viewership audience, I think.
Okay. I'm just going to tell everybody now, if you haven't heard me say it before, Cougar Board came out in like 2003, 2004 as a bulletin board. It was a bulletin board, social media, no Twitter, no Instagram, none of that, right? Back in the days in the dark ages. They started this bulletin board, and it went fine for a few years. I read into it until about 2007, and then it really got ugly, and they started bullying everybody, and it completely chased 90% of the user base away, and those 90% are now the ones that are in social media that are doing a good job. Those people out in the world are doing a good job trying to represent the school and its values. I don't think Cougar Board is ever going to get their status back. So I'm glad you guys had fun doing that last night. I watched about half of it, and I was like, this doesn't really do anything for me. So if you guys had fun, that's all I care about. That's the most important thing. Moen, you were there too. I didn't think you were going to be there. Can you hear me,
Well,
Moen?
I had to be there. I had to be the one dishing out on the dozens. But
okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we needed Mo in that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Let's get to the news. Let's go.
Wait. There's one thing though. I gotta
Sure.
bring up to you, Nate. Like, and you might have heard this last night, and there's a lot of commotion.
I didn't hear anything about me. No.
Well, no, it's not about you personally, but it's something about the rumor on Cougar Board. There was two separate instances back in 2004 and back in like 2022 where someone was pooping around the school. Someone was pooping in like some section of the school, and they couldn't figure out, like some person was actually pooping in the school. There was like a mysterious pooper.
I've never heard of that.
Happened that was like 2004 range, and then it happened again in 2022. But this person was pooping in the hot tub and leaving it. So
yeah, I don't know who that is.
Is that something that you know anything about?
Never heard anything like that.
Okay.
No, I don't track in those circles. That crap is just, it's like the National Enquirer or something. I don't pay attention to that crap. I got too much time that goes to other good things. I'm not going to put it to garbage like that. So I didn't know. No. Anyway, all right, we ready now? Okay.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, the first one is, this is a report from Pete Thamel. We are back to the 2022 players. Some of them are not being able to play again. The original article, in a legal victory for the NCAA, Federal Appeals Court has temporarily halted a court order that would have granted thousands of athletes who left college an extra year of eligibility. And there were people that were going back to schools and trying to get in. Some did make it back. Some of the ones that went out and did their own lawsuits, they are back. One of them is Jackson Kohler, who's a center that played at Michigan State, is now going to be at BYU. So there are a few that are going through, but the rest have a stay. The rest that didn't sue on their own, they're idle, and they may never get their chance back before the season's over. Pete Thamel sums it up. This was a federal ruling, so there's no longer a blanket ruling on the class of 2022 fourth-year players to have a fifth year. This does not impact the hodgepodge of state rulings on fifth years, so players who'd returned to school based on the Colorado ruling will now need local state rulings to be eligible. Time is short on those rulings, so they need to move fast on a TRO to state temporary restraining order to stay eligible. And the plaintiffs in the Wisney, which is the Colorado case, can file a petition for reconsideration of the stay, but that's unlikely. The calendar favors the NCAA here, as this is expected to hold for this season. So what'd you guys think about this? Did you both track it in the news just in the last few hours?
It's complete whiplash.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And like it's per state by state. Are you going to be allowed in one state versus another? Guys, this is the reason for like all the PCSA stuff that was all the commotion a couple weeks ago. Just to get better structure in the game. And this is a reason that we're going to go back to the collective bargaining discussion too. Hopefully, like that needs to happen, because this is the kind of garbage, like state by state. Give me a break. So I guess like if Utah says, okay, we're going to loosen up these laws and stuff, every fifth-year player come here, and all of a sudden Utah and BYU can land all the good transfers. I mean, that's basically what we're saying right here. State by state, it's a mess. We need collective bargaining. 100% says PCSA is going to die. It's wild. It's no surprise.
That's good analysis. I like that. Moen, any thoughts from you?
This is bullshit. I don't understand how a guy who was signed to an NBA team can suddenly leave NBA team and go back to college.
NFL as well.
Yeah, and it's wrong. I think the conferences need to step in. I think Big 12 should have stepped in and said that's not happening.
I don't know that the Big 12 could have. I don't know what the steps could have been. You're talking about the conferences asking for a temporary restraining order against the schools?
Against any athlete.
The athletes. Against the athletes.
And then tried to return to amateurism.
Okay.
But
it's not the school's problem, right? They're just following laws as they currently stand on the books. And then we have these then we have these judges that come in and do their own thing. I'm not justifying it at all. I didn't cheer on the Jackson Kohler thing. If he's there, he's there. If he's not, he's not. I didn't really care. But I mean, he's there was several hundred that did their own. So we'll have to
I agree
see.
that, and I don't have an issue with the ones who never turned pro.
Right, I got you.
Turned pro, you're a professional athlete. I don't believe you should be able to leave the pro ranks to go back to college to make more money.
Okay.
And I think, it's the NCAA obviously can't stop it. I think conferences should step in, have a vote for the president, add a bylaw that says if you've been pro, you can't come into our conference.
They'd have to define what pro means. Just being in a pro mini camp, is that pro?
That's
getting
pro
a paycheck from a pro organization like football, the NFL. Okay, those are reasonable. Okay, well, time will tell. I do know this, and you tipped his hat to it. We are up against the calendar here, as Pete Thamel's saying. There's only so long you could try to sue to get in if you're going to try football, certainly, and then basketball is October. So there's not a lot of time to get this set. Anyways, let's move on from that. Let's go to the AP Top 25 poll. I covered this on Tuesday night in pretty good detail. We had a good show Tuesday night, good showing. Quickly run through these. Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Iowa, Indiana. Indiana ahead of Miami, I found interesting. Texas A&M, Ole Miss, OU, LSU, Texas Tech, which is the first Big 12 school. First Big 12 school. Alabama, BYU, SC, Michigan, Washington, Penn State, SMU, Tennessee. Utah got screwed. Iowa, Houston is probably where they're going to be, in Louisville. And then last, of course, we have to have Missouri in there. What were you guys' thoughts on this top 25? I personally think BYU should have been up 2, and I think Utah should have been up 4 or 5, and Texas Tech should have probably been up 2 as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think BYU should be top 11, maybe like creeping in on the 10th spot, given performance last year with BYU's returning. I'm serious about that. Like that BYU Notre Dame game, guys. Like you mentioned this, Nate. The chatter around like the office this week, $20,000 tickets for that game.
That is insane.
A massive game for the Big 12's perception. I mean, it's crazy, and like that's going to be a top 10 matchup. Top 7 matchup, maybe. Like, who knows how it shakes out, but starting 14's way too high. Utah, yeah, probably a little bit more and stuff. Like, I think there's a lot of rising potential. I'm kind of okay with 21. I would like a little bit more, but like, okay, 21's fair. Looking at some of these other schools, though, I don't know, guys, about Alabama at 13.
Yeah.
I think that Alabama should be in the 20s. I think that looking at Texas A&M, they should be out of the top 10. Looking at
that's the one shocked me. Yeah, Texas A&M shocked me. Yeah.
And then Tennessee should be out of the polls, so I think that there's a little bit of SEC bias in it.
Yeah. Texas A&M should have been 13 or 14, I think. Moen, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't take the preseason poll too seriously because nobody snapped a damn football yet.
Right.
This is all just looking at rosters and consistency in programs. So, I told Rock, we discussed this on Sunday. We did our own projections and we were actually pretty spot on. I think I got 24 teams correctly guessed, and he did as well.
In the right places or just on the poll itself?
I think you could take 1 through 7.
Yes, I agree with that.
Just completely jumble that up, and it doesn't matter. I mean, there's just no difference for me from Ohio State to Miami.
I agree with that. That's what I said on Tuesday night as well. So it's funny. I didn't hear you. I think Ute was drilling on that as well. I think Texas A&M below, all those teams could be jumbled up. The next 8 teams could really place anywhere. So this season is.
How is A&M above Texas Tech? That's crazy to me, though. That's crazy. Texas Tech's a better team than A&M. That seems like robbery, man. I tell you what.
Yeah, well, it is. It is, Robin, the Big 12. There's no doubt about it. All right, next story. Let's go to. I love this post from Wild Ute, and I wanted to ask him to add some context. Once UNC Miami and FSU walk from the ACC, which we all think is going to happen eventually, back for 8 Big 12 schools next. So they're going to come back and reach back, and the ACC could try to reform with Arizona State, BYU, Colorado, Kansas Tech, Texas Tech, Utah, and West Virginia. Would any school make the move? We shall see. I think if you could get those 8 schools into the ACC, they could do the reverse of what we thought the Big 12 would be able to do, and that conference would be. Again, you're still carrying 6 brands that probably aren't bringing the dollars and the viewership, but I think that's essentially a best of the rest without a few extra ACC schools, right? That's really
exactly.
The difference.
Like, and I think that, especially given like the momentum, like just talking about momentum, perception. I tell you what, like the ACC and the Big 12 are both sinking perception wise. It's everything. Like, I mean, like in the Big 12, like it seems like there's just everything's bringing down. I don't have the faith that I once did. The Big 12 is going to be poaching the ACC. I was certain about that given a year ago, 2 years ago. I would have put that at 90 to 95%. I'm about a 60-40, the Big 12 poaching ACC. But that 40%, here's how it'd be. This is how it worked too. Like, so say there's a couple teams that got poached and taken into the P2 with the exit fee money that would be going to the ACC schools. You basically give an upfront bonus to bring some Big 12 schools over and help them buy out of the Big 12, bring them over to the ACC, get new markets in for the ACC network. And like you could actually do that with that buyout money, repositioning that and investment into basically a signing bonus for these schools. So there's creative ways to do it. Look, it's still unlikely. There's like best of the rest might actually happen. The more you actually look at this.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think the Big 12 is sustainable. I don't.
They're both in the same boat. They're both in the same boat.
I don't know which one's going to win, and it's like almost a dead heat, 60-40 now. Maybe best of the rest is growing. But like, given some of these deals that we're seeing in Big 12 land, like this Monster Energy deal for less than $1 million per school, what gives you faith that there's any type of future, like real power future for that? I don't have any. And so these are the schools that we talked about. I've talked about Hokie Mark in an episode that like talked about the ACC rate in the Big 12 about a month ago. Check out that video. He gave good analysis too. These are the 8 schools that he had kind of pegged for ACC trying to poach in for the Big 12. So every day that goes by, this seems more like this could happen, guys, in my point of view.
Moen.
Yeah, some of these schools I disagree with. I don't know how big the ACC really wants to get, and I do think best of the rest is a better option than backfilling from the ACC. Again, you're gonna leave a lot of money on the table for some of these schools that are leaving the ACC, but I mean, I think you got to do it. I don't think you could take a Wake Forest and a Boston College.
No,
I agree. See, that's the conversation. Yeah, that's the conversation, right? Dan, Michael Brown and Moen, I'll take this away and let you finish. He says, "Damn, they don't want Kansas State or Oklahoma State." See, if it was me, Kansas State and Oklahoma State would both be on this list, right? But a best of the rest conference, including those schools, would not be carrying the bottom schools of either the Big 12, the SEC, or ACC. We don't have to call those schools out, but they're certainly not Kansas State and Oklahoma State. So I think the best of the rest is the best, but can they put that together? Is that even possible for these schools to leave these conferences? It's so difficult.
I'll be honest, like, I mean, like K-State, I grew up a K-State fan. I got a lot of family in K-State territory. K-State is completely screwed in realignment. 100%. They cannot go anywhere. They don't have the market for it. They don't have the brand for it. They are stuck in the Big 12. They're not going anywhere. They need the Big 12 to survive and to raid, to do anything, guys. Oklahoma State's a different story. The thought process of this, at least this 8 group and stuff, a lot of these schools, 5 of them are AAU, and then you've got BYU's brand, Texas Tech's brand, and West Virginia's brand that would kind of bring the day. But I think that Oklahoma State has a massive brand too. As far as TV ratings a couple of years ago, they would have been number 1 in the Big 12. I think that Oklahoma State would definitely be in a play on the best of the rest. I don't know if they could really sync up with a lot of the ACC schools that we're talking about, but if we're going to add one more school to this list, it would be Oklahoma State, 100%. So throw them on this list.
Go ahead, Moen. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I would definitely not have BYU and Utah on this list.
Well, you wouldn't have Arizona and Arizona State either, probably.
I do. And the best of the rest, I don't agree with that at all.
Arizona State, I would keep.
No way, Moen.
Again, if you're talking to depending on who's left in this ACC, if it's Pitt, Boston College, some of these nerd schools, they want fellow nerd schools.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, if Stanford and Cal are still there, Stanford and Cal are probably going to want Utah, Colorado, Arizona State.
This list, I didn't even opine on this list. Like, Hokie Mark is actually someone that writes. I've read his stuff for years. I think that he's nails on a lot of stuff. I love his stuff. This is his list. He's an ACC guy. He's a Virginia Tech guy. He put BYU on this list. So he thinks that BYU is a big enough brand. He could compensate for anything that you might take him. Utah and BYU both, obviously. That's what he's thinking. Maybe one of both.
At the end of the day, how it happens will drive a lot of it. And I obviously leave the option open that could be the case, Moen. But if you're the ACC, you want to survive into the next round, into the next universe, try to compete with the Big 12 or Big 10 in the SEC, you're going to want as much money and as much viewership as you can get. And I think a lot of that is going to trump, hey, we're the smartest, elitist schools with our noses in the air just because how else are we going to form a conference? That's my opinion. So you might be right. It might end up being that way. I just don't think that's more likely. But
if you had a best of the rest, guys, here's 8 schools you're seeing on the screen right here. You add Oklahoma State and TCU into this, you get 10 schools from the Big 12. Most of the best schools from the ACC would be rated at this point.
Agreed.
With these schools, with TCU and Oklahoma State, you add Virginia Tech, you add NC State, you add Pitt, then all of a sudden you add 3 more schools. Like you could create and like if Clemson gets left behind, somehow they could get left behind. That's the one school that we're talking about that we think nails. I think that if they're left behind, they'd be in the stew. And you could create a 16-team conference that would get better ratings, get better money. You could probably lift it to another $10 million per year per school. You'd have to do it.
Okay. All right. Best of the rest is the one we want. That's the one we're voting for. All right. Ross Dellinger, what's the latest on the Protect College Sports Act? Expect modifications possibly to the anti-expansion provision, which fired up a bunch of ACC schools and contributed to the failed vote attempt. I'm going to tip my hat here to you, Moen. You've talked to Greg quite a bit. This is something that he's championed for a while. The removal of the caps, the 19 teams and 5 years independent, and the lobbying effort that's going in while nobody's actually debating the Protect College Sports Act. What's your feeling here on this one?
Well, listen, ACC schools have the most to lose. They're the most desirable schools. Apologies to the Big 12, but right now the riches are in the ACC, and that's what's going to get plundered. And they want to be plundered. Clemson and Florida State sued to be taken. So, I mean, yeah, Florida State, Clemson, Stanford is also against this model. And, this was something that was put in there by Cody Campbell, Anne Maria Cantwell. She championed it as well. The Republican ticket originally said 20, and the Democrat came back with 19, and that 5-year independence clause. And now there's so many options. The other option they're talking about is, well, we'll have these clauses for just 5 years and then they sunset. So you can grow your conference after 5 years. I mean, what's the point? You just tear the Band-Aid off, guys. Tear the Band-Aid. Don't do no 5-year deal. Just get rid of it. Just absolutely get rid of it. There's no point in doing this 5-year probationary period to try and stabilize conferences. They're going to get destabilized anyway. So, in my opinion, rip the Band-Aid.
Rip the Band-Aid. Rip the Band-Aid.
Rip the Band-Aid. Okay.
Like rip the Band-Aid. Let it. Forget the PCSA. Like
the PCSA isn't going to pass, so this is all a wasted energy, in my opinion. Rip it, don't rip it. It's not. PCSA is not going to pass. So,
like, it's crazy that they're trying to revise it. Like the legs that it had were 3 weeks ago. It couldn't get through in time before the break and stuff. The elections, the midterms are coming up, like we talked about. It's kind of like kicking around a dead body here, right? It doesn't seem like a real solution. Like the collective bargaining conference it has to happen. There has to be some kind of agreement that you have to play by the same rules and stuff, so these conferences can play each other. But that's the only way I see it, guys. And that's not going to prevent any realignment at all. Like the Big Ten and the SEC are going to get these schools they want. There's no way to block that anymore. And just let that happen. Let it the best of the rest happen. Let's get these 3 power conferences and let's go. Let's figure this out. We're kind of there, right? Let's just let it happen.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. All right, Moen, that is a crib notes version of the news we had this week. There were a couple other hanger out stories, but I think we're going to put more time into the SEC preview for 2026. I'm going to turn the time over to you. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. Buckle up. We're going to be going through the College Football Mafia team SEC preview 2026 right now.
Absolutely. Let me pull it up here.
Oh, I do have. Sorry, there was one super chat. There's one super. That's my fault. That's my fault. Kenneth Maynard, who is a valuable member of not only the Eastern Carolina Pirates but also the Florida Gators, $5 super chat. Baylor and Boston College would absolutely be screwed. Welcome to the American. And I think I don't know who put the clapping up there, but that's right. Yeah. Okay, Owen. Sorry.
Wake Forest, BC, and Syracuse. In Cincinnati, there's 6. They're completely screwed. There's more, but those are 6 definites, right?
Okay.
Definites.
All right, let's go. SEC.
Here we go. Let's do our SEC order of finish. We've got 7 people picking this week.
Woo woo.
So I mean, it's pretty consistent here on the lower end.
Sick graphics, Moen. Sick graphics.
Thank you. You will.
Those are awesome.
As we get up there, there's some people who've picked some might say outrageous picks. But we could start at 16. Bomber has Mississippi State. Everybody else has Arkansas.
Yeah, you know what? I think just these 3 teams at the bottom. I hate talking about. I actually like Kentucky, a football brand. Nah, not so much. I have been a fan long-standing of both Mississippi State and Arkansas from the old Southwestern Conference. Right, it was or the Big 8, Southwestern Conference, whatever that was, and that I miss that. So this pains me to say this about Mississippi State. Mississippi State needs new direction. They need something that's going to keep them going in the right direction. Seems like they keep rebuilding, and it frustrates me. So come on, Arkansas, let's go Mississippi State. Next year, we need you guys to be in the 12s. Let's get up to the 10s. Go ahead, Mon.
Yeah, for me, Arkansas, Ryan Silverfield, I think it's a good hire. He's just got it's a rebuild. It's a total rebuild. The car has just been stripped. There's a couple bright spots on defense, but they're few and far between. He's going to have to take a couple years to get something put together here. He was basically left with a stripped car, and they said, "Okay, drive it 100 miles. Good luck." They're going to finish dead last. I do think, though, they have a matchup with the Utah Utes. I think if they can win that matchup,
if they can beat Utah and Salt Lake City, that would be something.
I think they're going to turn some heads, but we're going to have to see how Silverfield ends up doing as a head coach. But that's why I've got Arkansas last.
Right idea. The word for Arkansas is rebuilding, with Silverfield at the helm. A lot of change, a lot of skill position change. One thing Arkansas does have is defensive line play and a solid defensive end. So that is going to be a test because they are coming to Rice-Eccles Stadium week 2. And, I'll tell you what, if the Utes lose to Arkansas, that's going to be a blight on the Big 12 conference like no other, right? And especially since we're talking the 16th best SEC team and the preseason 3rd best Big 12 team. Look, they've got players still. This is an SEC quality roster. I like what they're doing for the future. I think they're building for the future, but I'm not sure I can see Arkansas really get out of into the top 10 of the SEC anytime soon, even with the changes they've made. I don't know.
Competition is real. Yeah.
It's real, man. So
let's talk about that really quick. I'm glad you said that because if you're these 4 schools and however we do this, right? I've got who is that I've got in there that's at 13 anyway. These schools are pretty much interchangeable depending on the particular season. Who wants to bring in Clemson? Who wants to bring in Florida State to even be potentially pushing them down farther? That's the question, right? Do these conferences want to bring in these schools that are going to make them stronger, but they're also going to water it down and push people down farther? That would be frustrating for me if I was a fan of any of these schools.
If you brought in Clemson, Florida State, Virginia, and North Carolina, UNC and Virginia would be the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, I think so.
They'd be like 19-20. Yeah. Virginia would be 20 every year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. But Arkansas is in a tough conference. I don't know. I love the Razorback fans. They've got a freaking amazing fan base too. Great people. I'd love to see a turnaround. Just not week 2.
Okay. Moving on to number 15, you've got the Kentucky Wildcats here. Bomber, you must not think much of Will Stein.
I don't think much of Will Stein. They lost Mensa to Miami. I'm not even sure what you'd put in here. I almost had Kentucky at the bottom, but I moved all 3, 14, 15, 16 around 3 or 4 times, and I couldn't find one that was better than the others, unfortunately. So Yeah. They're a basketball school. Be a basketball school.
I have Mississippi State, and I will say this. They have the ability to have an explosive offense. It's just a matter of execution. They do have a shutdown corner, Kelly Jones, legitimate lockdown corner, probably going to go in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft next year. It's just a matter of executing on that offense. They have got to execute, eliminate negative plays, get positive plays. There's a potential there for explosive offense. It's just, can they actually execute and pull it off? What do you think, you?
I think your nails. I think Mississippi State's the perennial underdog in the SEC. I think Mississippi State is a bunch of dogs because they've got cowbells right here. I'll show you like this, guys.
Yes, we got
Seriously,
cowbell.
I think Mississippi
Somewhere.
State is basically like in a lot of ways, like the heart and soul in the SEC, like in the essence of the SEC conference. Die-hard loyal fans, in a unique culture, unique things they bring to the table, have an awesome rivalry with Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl. I think Mississippi State's awesome. It's just like, yeah, like they're stuck in like the SEC, and they just don't have the best recruiting advantages to get juiced players like some of these other SEC schools. So they're always going to be an underdog in the SEC. Moan's analysis is spot on, though. It's probably going to be in the lower quadrant finish. So I'm at 15.
All right, Bomber. Now explain why you've got Arkansas at 14.
Because they're playing Utah. I'm trying to elevate Utah's quality win status. I mean, I'm dead serious. I had all 3 of them at the same. I was like, what can I do to make this different and fun? And that was it. They're playing Utah, so I figured give Utah a quality win and let's go.
Yeah. By the way, Bomber, Mensa actually played at Duke. And
I was corrected. You see, I said it already.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Misspoke.
Moving on. Ute and I both took Kentucky. I'll let you start with Kentucky, Ute.
I like Minchie. He hasn't played a lot, but he's talented. He's a transfer from Notre Dame, a quarterback. But like, yeah, I mean, like Nate said it, like Kentucky is a basketball school that has to play football. It's not a football school that has to play basketball. It's almost impossible to have them both. And I just don't think that culturally going to change anytime soon. You're not going to have the best NIL resources when so much goes to basketball. Kentucky's going to be 14 forever. It's just where they're going to be.
Now, see, I will disagree with you. I like Will Stein. I think he was an excellent hire for head coach there. Obviously, Minchie, you mentioned the transfer from Notre Dame. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but you know what? Will Stein makes some pretty clever offensive plays. I would not be shocked to see Kentucky pull an upset at least once this season, using some trickeration from Will Stein's playbook. All right, moving on. Lucky number 13. Bomber has top 25 ranked Mizzou as his 13.
I'm voting against Mizzou to be out of the top 25 for the rest of this season. They cannot stay in the top 25. I don't know what it's going to take, but last year, they were the ghost. They had 5 losses last year, or was it only 4? Regardless, they never left the top 25 the entire season. Maybe they were out a week or 2, but my point is they're always there. And why is that? Is they're the anchor school that the conference uses to keep the quality wins up, which then makes the SEC look better. The more teams that are top 25, the more people are going to pay attention and give you credit for beating up on your own. So that's a vote as much against Missouri being in the top 25 as it is where they'll end up in the season.
Okay. Why did you put Vandy where you put him?
You know, this actually might be a little bit conservative for Vandy. He was considering a little bit of higher ranking. Vandy is an ascending program, like even in the SEC. And Jared Curtis, the player 5-star quarterback that they landed, was a shocker after Diego Pavia has left this program. But they've got talent coming in at skill positions. It's a shock. It's a shock to see this turnaround. Coaching is elite there. They're gritty. I like it. They're going to be more of a middling SEC team for a while, it seems like here. But I still think they need a little bit more ramp up after Diego's left for a year or so. 13th position.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Vanderbilt is no longer an automatic win on anybody's schedule.
Nope.
I think they're going to have growing pains this year. Obviously, they lost a lot of people. They do have some 5-stars coming in down the road. But I think you're going to have growing pains this season, but listen, if you're in the SEC now, you watched what Vanderbilt did last season. You just can't mark them as an easy win anymore. They're going to be a tough opponent.
Vanderbilt and Indiana following the same profile, right? They bring in players and coaches that have been other places, put them together. They assemble teams. Now they have money that's behind them. We know that. So I'm not shocked that Vanderbilt. They're trying to do exactly what Indiana has done.
And they've got elite coach in Clark Lee. He's only 44 years old, guys, and he's already proven.
Yeah.
If he sticks at Vandy, wouldn't it be amazing to see them win the SEC one day? Could it happen? Maybe.
That would be hard to see, but yeah.
Well, it would have been hard to see Indiana do it too, but that,
man,
Indiana made everything's possible now that Indiana has become a national champion. I will note that the only real person that was a little off here, Rock, added Auburn at 13. Everybody else kind of had Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Kentucky. He's got Auburn all the way down at 13. So,
all right, we got a super chat, Moen. Let's do that, and then we can get to the next 4.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Fine with me.
All right, peek around the corner, college football. Peek around the corner. That would be the great Greg Flugar, friend of the show, OG when it comes to social media, YouTube shows. We appreciate him and being friends and sort of being. We're very value that loyalty to each other and that relationship. So we're glad to see Greg here. Missouri versus Kansas is an important game from every angle for head coaches, players, fan bases, and conferences. SEC and especially Big 12, big game. Ute, this is a must-win for the Big 12, right?
It's a tough win for the Big 12. I would love to say it's a must-win. It's going to be the spread's not going to be very close. I would imagine the Mizzou's going to be 10-plus points favorite. Wow. I don't care where the game's at. I think KU is rebuilding a lot. They're an uncertain quarterback play. Mizzou's coming in with a dynamic running attack and with a real shot of maybe making me a dark horse for SEC championship. It's a super important game, man. It really is. But I just don't see it really being that close, unfortunately. I don't think KU has the team.
Moen?
I'm hoping for Kansas to pull off the upset and beat Missouri. I really am. My Big 12 team is Kansas and West Virginia. Listen, I'm an Ohio State guy, but I have teams in every conference that I root for. And Kansas is
I
one
do
of my,
too. Sure.
Kansas is my team in the Big 12 along with West Virginia. So I'm going to root for Kansas. I'd love to see that rivalry become permanent again. That was such a great rivalry. There's a lot of hate in that rivalry, and I love hateful, toxic rivalries. You and I talked about it last night. I'd love to see that rivalry come back and be more consistent. But hey, I'm pulling for the Jayhawks. Rock chalk.
Rock chalk, Jayhawk. Let's go. All right, moving right along.
Absolutely. Before we move along, let's do a little promo here.
Sure.
Well, folks, this is Dr. Phil. And let me tell you, these 3 characters, Ute, Bomber, and Moen, might just need a little visit to their local psych ward. But I hear they're dabbling in the Big Freakin' Friday show, a real gateway for college football sickos.
Let's go.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Oh, my gosh. We are sickos. We're
moving
sickos,
along, 9 through 12. We'll start at 12. All 3 of us had Auburn.
Yeah, that's, I think.
Well, who wants to go first on why they put them there?
Lost. Transitioning. Lost.
Their schedule is difficult. Their schedule is very difficult this year.
Schedule. I mean, Auburn is the most confusing, one of the most confusing teams in all of Power 4. I don't even know what Auburn stands for anymore. Is it like an offensive team, a defensive team? What are they? They've lost their way completely. They got talent, of course. When you're in the state of Alabama and the SEC, they can pull talent. There's a lot of good things there. They won championships before, but it's a lost program. So I am not going to put them in the top half. Number 12.
Okay. I like the hire they made at head coach. They do have some defensive talent there. They've got that linebacker, Xavier Atkins. He was all SEC team last year. You got that cornerback, Champ Anthony. I think the defense is going to be fine, but there's too many questions on offense. You brought it up, who's going to be quarterback? Who's going to catch passes? They had kind of an exodus on offense. They lost their best wide receiver. So yeah, I think it's going to be a growing season for Auburn, but I do like the hire. I think Auburn will be back here within a couple seasons.
Do we know what the over-under is is it 6.5?
I'll pull that up. That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm curious because if they could win 7 games, I mean, I think
6.5.
So yeah, see, there you go. And I didn't even look that up. How about that? Yeah, I think if they go seven games, they could climb on this list. It just depends whether they get that break here or there. But their schedule is not doing them any friendlies. So Moen's tapping.
All right.
All right,
Number
let's
11. You've got the Commodores, Bomber.
I do.
Let's go.
Pick some fighting Gamecocks. We'll start with you, Bomber. Tell us why you think Vanderbilt's at 11.
Sure. I think there is going to be a fallback from the performances they've had the last couple of years. They have every opportunity to be a 7 or 8 win team. I'm not saying that won't happen, but again, you're playing in self-described toughest conference in America. Whether it is or not doesn't really matter. It's what you're telling yourself. And if Vanderbilt can go win an extra game and a half, they could be in the top 8. I don't glow on their team as much as people have in the past. You guys ranked them lower, right? I think there is potential there, and that's why I put them at 11.
Lenore Sellers for South Carolina.
Underperform.
They underperformed, and here's what happened is when I was putting this list together, I had South Carolina in 8th spot. And then I was considering more teams, and they just got bumped down and bumped down and bumped down, and they ended up here at 11. They're way too talented to be at 11, but they underperform.
They do.
Underperform, even with Sellers, who was chatted about a year and a half ago, he's going to be the number 1 pick one day.
Heisman.
He was playing Heisman. Yeah. If he could ever turn it on again, they could really swing. One team in the SEC that can make noise could be them if they turn it on and everything, but they got to prove it. Last year they didn't. They're 11.
Yeah, listen, hey, I think Lenora Sellers has a legitimate receiver in Nick Harbor. It's going to be up to him to get the ball and limit the mistakes. You can't run 30 yards in the backfield trying to make a pass.
Don't say that too loud.
Dylan Stewart, though. Dylan Stewart's a legitimate threat at pass rush. I think he's going to be climbing up the NFL draft boards this season. And I think he's going to make some big-time hits, maybe force some fumbles. And I think there's going to be quite a few 50-50 games for South Carolina. I think they're going to be in some games, but I know a lot of people have these guys ranked as a dark horse, top 5 SEC. I just don't see that. I just don't, because, and I'll be honest, because Lenora Sellers hasn't shown it to me. So, moving along, number 10. You've got the Gamecocks, Bomber.
I do. I think Lenora Sellers is going to do well this year. He's not going to win the Heisman, but he's had injury problems, and I think this year he's playing for the NFL. He wants to turn some heads for his draft stock. So I like Carolina, but if everybody remembers, last 2 years I had Carolina top 2 or 3 in the league. I thought Carolina was South Carolina had a chance to compete for a national championship. Like 2 years ago, I thought they got screwed, didn't get in. Like BYU, they had a voice. So the team is still there. They've had quite a bit of turnover. Sellers has stuck around. So I say they leverage all that experience and they put it into a season where they're 7.5. And if they can get to 7.5, the ball goes one way or the other. Now they're an 8-win team. If that happens, I think they could say that would be a successful season.
Okay. I've got Mizzou at number 10. Again, I think they're overrated at 25, but they do have some good players, especially on offense. It's just they don't have a defensive identity at this point, and they really didn't solve anything in the portal. But I really like running back Ahmed Hardy. You've got Caden Green, who is a very good run blocker. So I think they're going to get some ground game going. They're going to slow down the offense a little bit this year. Defense, to me, huge question mark, and I don't know. They're going to try and slow it down so it's not turning into shootouts. But with that defense, they may have to turn a few games into shootouts. What do you think, Duke?
They're going to ground and pound Mahone, like you mentioned, with Ahmed Hardy and also with Jamal Roberts. Those are the two running backs, the 1-2 tandem over there, Mizzou. Their line is solid. They're a gritty team. They're a steady team. They're kind of built like a old Big Ten team. Just a lot. Like, you wonder how explosive they are, right? Like what the defense is going to do. They're going to be a pain, especially if you don't have a very good defensive line. They're going to run on you like buku because they are ultra talented at running back. 6.5 win total. FanDuel. They'll probably be at 6 or 7 wins right there between, right? Yeah. I don't think they should be a top 25 team. I don't think they will at the end of the season, but they do have talent at running back and on the line. So we'll see how they do. I don't like the matchup again for Kansas, though. I think Kansas is a little they don't have the talent this year to really compete with Missouri, like I mentioned before.
Yeah, those defenses are going to get tired how much Mizzou is running the ball. It's, as you mentioned, Big Ten teams. It's the old Woody Hayes philosophy, 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Now at number 9, we all went Gators.
Yeah. This actually surprised me for my pick. I was going to put Florida down around 11 or 12. So when I looked at everybody and who they play, Florida doesn't have the top schedule as they've had in the last 3 or 4 years. They actually get a couple breaks on their schedule. If they win those games, they could end up in the top half of this conference. So that's the biggest deal with Florida. I think they're this close, as we say, to being sort of back in that upper half of the SEC. And once you get in there, 9-3 is not going to get you in the playoff, anybody. We figured that out. 9-3 is not going to happen. So you need to get to 10-2, and then you need some help to get into the CFP. Florida's not there yet, but I think they have turned a corner, and I see positive signs coming out of Gainesville.
Bingo! It's a resurgent program. Florida's always going to get talent with John Summerall there. A guy, John Summerall, guys. To me, when I look at this guy, he looks intense. He looks like gritty. Man, he's the kind of ball coach that you want coaching your team. Yeah. He just has the look. There's just something. There's a lot of momentum with the Gators right now. There's been a lot of chatter, talk. Talent's coming in. It's looking good. Can he put it down, though? This team might be better than 9. This could be a top 5 SEC team if things fall the right way.
Wow.
If they fall the right way, and if not this year, the next year. This is a fast riser. I like it, guys. I like it. And I love – we talked about, favorite teams in different conferences. My favorite SEC team is the Florida Gators. So I have a little bit of bias, too, of course.
I love that.
Okay, so Florida Gators for me. John, again, I have them 9. The schedule is really rough. They have a tough schedule in the SEC. Good news is they've got a really solid defense. It's bend, don't break. As long as they just keep bending and not breaking, Jaden Baugh, their running back, can get some yards, get something going, maybe get some RPO going out of their quarterback. Quarterback's a huge question mark still. We have to see if they've got that figured out, the quarterback and the receiving
Right.
core. But yeah, I'm high on Florida, and I think at some point John Summerall is going to make it where people do fear the swamp once again.
So
There's
Moen,
going
I
to
want
be like a toughness.
to
Sorry,
go ahead.
John.
You no. Go ahead. You finish.
Just to add on to what Moen said, like, yeah, the swamp was a feared venue with like nasty Florida defenses, especially under the Urban Meyer days. It just, to me, it feels like that's going to return here soon. And there's going to be a nastiness with Florida, with that crowd behind you. They're going to rise again to be the program that they should be. Because this is one of the elite programs in all of college football. Freaking Florida Gators here. So I think we're a couple years away from seeing it. Maybe it starts this year.
Give me a second here. I want to go through this schedule because Moen said something, and I want to see what he saw different than me. Give me a second. So bring this up over here because I'm curious as we look through this schedule. Let me share this one instead. There we go. Let me get back here so I can see you guys. Really quick, let me just steal this from you for just a moment, Moen, if it'll let me. Oh, you're presenting. You're going to have to unpresent, I guess. There we go. Okay. So Florida Atlantic, Campbell, those are two automatic wins.
No.
Then they're at Auburn, so that's a road game.
I think that's 3 of them. Yeah.
3-0. So then you come to Ole Miss, which right now a lot of us have them in the top 10. And that's in Gainesville, just so we know.
Gainesville, yeah.
Right. And then you're traveling to Missouri, and I think they're better than Missouri. So I have them 4-1 at this point. South Carolina, we've kind of got them as a toss up, right? So that could be, 4-5. We're not sure. 4.5. Let's just say that. Then they have to go to Austin. Then they have Georgia. Then they have Oklahoma, but again, it's in Florida. Oklahoma proved last year, and I know Jason's watching this right now. Oklahoma's got to sort of turn the table on some of those games. They're going to. Oklahoma's very, very good. I think they'll win that game, but it is in Florida, so that'll be interesting. Then you have Kentucky, that's a win, and then Vanderbilt, who I think they're better than. The Florida State game's the last game of the year, so they could be 8-9 wins, depending on. I didn't think this schedule was as tough as maybe I was seeing it wrong though, right? And that's why I was wondering what you guys were thinking.
The other thing you got to remember, if you scroll up to that Georgia game, that's the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. That is usually played in Jacksonville, Florida. Not this year. It is played in Atlanta, Georgia. There is going to be lots of, and obviously Georgia's a great team. But you put them inside the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, they're going to pack that with 80% of their fans. So
right,
I don't know. There's a lot of Gator fans. I mean, like seriously, Gainesville, like from to Atlanta. I mean, like it's almost driving distance, right?
Compared to Athens,
I mean, like I'm with you. There's going to be more Georgia, but that might be more of a 60-40 in my point of view.
It's after a bye week too, Moen. They do get a bye week with Georgia. Not that it'll matter. I'm just
right. And I think they're going to be coming off a loss at Texas. I think Oklahoma's a loss. And I think there's some toss-up games in there. So we'll see how the Gators do.
But, absolutely.
I've got a high expectations for them next season and the season after.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, let's move on to our next one. 8 through. Oh, hold on one second. I'm gonna go back here. Gygax is the outlier here. He's got Texas A&M all the way at number 10.
That's what you was saying.
Wow.
Texas A&M. That's tough.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. You got a couple Tennessees down here. Rock has them at 9. Fergie has them at 11. Yeah, I just wanted to point those out. There's a couple outliers here that I find interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. All of us have Tennessee at 8. I love it. I love this.
A lot of people have Tennessee, the Volunteers, at 8. We all do. Yeah. Let's start with you this time. Why do you got the Volunteers at 8?
I wanted to put them lower than 8.
Rated.
Exactly, Nate. Like they just feel. They feel overrated. Like they were right neck and neck with Florida. I wanted to move Florida up, but Florida's less proven, right, over the last couple of years. Yeah. Josh Heupel, he's a good coach. sometimes it seems like Tennessee just lacks a little bit of the physicality to win at the most elite levels. They've had great skill position players. Their trench play is supposed to be really good this year. A little bit of quarterback uncertainty. I'm not liking this, guys. Like if there's one school that I'd like to move down more, that I could see have even more regression, Tennessee. They're top 25, right? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're top. What, they're 10, 12 or something. So let me bring that back up just so I can make
7.5.
Tennessee. No, I'm sorry. Tennessee is 20. I apologize. So they're 20 in the top 25. Not that it matters.
I think you're looking at 6 or 7 wins for them. No, they're regressing.
No.
All right. I will go ahead and say this. I love Josh Heupel's system as a coach. I think he has a great system. The problem is getting a quarterback that fits that system. They just don't have enough explosive plays downfield. And I think that's going to hurt them significantly because that's what, that's the key that opens the door in Josh Heupel's system. So until I can see some explosive quarterback play, wide receivers getting off the ball, I'm not 100% sold on Tennessee. They do have a decent offensive line, but again, until I can see the quarterback making 30, 40, 50-yard chunk plays through the air, I'm not sold on the Volunteers.
I think Tennessee is the last 2 years they flirted. The first year they got in and didn't really play great. I just think they're overrated. Look at who's ahead of them. On my list, the only one people could probably shirk at is Texas A&M. Everybody else, any one of the top 7 could win the national championship, if not the SEC. So I just think of all those schools, I think Tennessee is at the bottom of that list in comparison.
Okay. Moving on to number 7 is a little different. We've got 3 disagreements here. You've got Ole Miss at 7, Bomber. Explain why the Ole Miss is at 7 after making the playoffs last year.
Because I think all this went into the Chambliss noise, and I think that team has regression written on it. They were Lane Kiffin's team last year, and I do not think their coach is proven. So I think Ole Miss is, again, one of those schools that starts off in the top 10 that is going to lose some key games, and they're going to drop out. I have Texas A&M above both the other 2 schools, primarily because I think they are built to run, and with a couple breaks, I mean, Elko could do it again. Of all these teams, I think Ole Miss is maybe the biggest ghost. How do you chase that one down? I don't know. So that's why I put them at 7.
All right. You've got TAMU at 7. Why is TAMU number 7?
Can't unsee the Marcel Reed, Ruben Bain disaster that happened in the playoff game. Ruben Bain made that guy, it was embarrassing. Like, his passing was atrocious. And I can't unsee that, guys. And I think they had better talent with Concepcion and some other players that they lost in the draft last year. They're rebuilding a coaching staff, trench play. They still have talent there. They've got a lot of talent there. I just don't like the quarterback play. I don't like the coordinator shifts and everything. It's going to be a pretty mediocre year, but they've got enough talent to be top 7 still. And they've got not an easy schedule, but easier than some teams. So you're looking at 7 or 8 wins probably for Texas A&M, but not a playoff appearance.
Okay. I've got the Oklahoma Sooners at number 7. And please hear me out, Jason. I do like Coach Brent Venables. I do agree with the extension for him. On paper, the defense he has put together is terrifying. John Mateer, can he stay healthy? He likes to scramble. He likes to run the ball, opens himself up to a lot of unnecessary hits. If the offense is running through John Mateer, can John Mateer stay healthy? I don't know that he can because, again, I don't know that his receivers are going to get open. He's going to panic. He's going to scramble. He's going to take hits. So moving on, number 6, you've got TAMU at number 6. Bomber, please explain.
Yeah, I think again they keep their head coach. Elko is a fantastic coach, and I think they're going to make the playoff this year. I think they did not play well at the end of the season last year, and I think this is redemption season. So again, I'll say it again: the top 7 teams in the SEC, any one of them can win the national championship, depending on how their season shakes out. So if I have somebody ranked 7, they could easily be number 1. That's how good all these schools are. And the SEC is the deepest conference at their level. There's no question about that. The Big Ten, I look at the Big Ten in comparison. We did that last week. I looked at these side by side before I turned this one in today, and I think the SEC remains the deepest conference. So that's where I'm at with Ole Miss and Texas A&M, both of them.
All right. You and I both took the Crimson Tide. Let me start off here. I like Kalen DeBoer as a coach. He has the unenviable task of being the guy right after Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to continue to get unfairly compared to Nick Saban. It is what it is. I do like their defense. They've got some Zabian Brown, Bray Hubbard. You've got Ryan Coleman Williams, who's probably going to be a top draft pick next year. But listen, the offensive line, lack of defensive leadership. Kalen DeBoer is just a little too milquetoast for me. I don't think he has the fire that Saban had. I think Alabama is going to come in at about number 6. And I mean, they're going to do pretty well for the SEC. I mean, you're finishing in the top 6. Is that going to be well enough for Alabama fans? I don't know. Kalen DeBoer may be out of there after this season if they do not make the playoffs.
100% agree with the take, Moan. Everything you just said was what was on my mind. DeBoer, he's in trouble if he does not get into the playoff this year. They need to get at least 9 to 10 wins to get in the playoff. I just don't see it at all. Quarterback uncertainty, trench play uncertainty. They've got some really elite players, like always, but this ain't the Nick Saban Alabama team. And DeBoer just doesn't really fit still. We said it 2 years ago, 3 years ago when he was hired, and just culturally, fit-wise, he's just not the guy. And so I think that he's probably going to get shooed out of town this year or next. And it's really expectations playoff or bust at Alabama. So
does Alabama make the playoffs, or is this a playoff game? Sorry, make it to the playoffs or not? You're gone to DeBoer.
I think so. Yeah, okay. That's the expectation in a 12-team playoff.
They made the playoffs last year, but they really looked bad in the playoffs. I think the final score was 38-3 versus Indiana. Obviously, Indiana did go on to win the national championship, but Alabama did not look good in that playoff game. So I think he needs to get to a playoff game, and he has to show some performance in a playoff game. Listen, Alabama is used to winning. And if you ain't in the top 3, top 2 of the SEC every single year, it's rough. That's a job like Ohio State where it's just you're expected to win, and the pressure is heavy. And I don't know that Kalen DeBoer's the guy. I think that if there's a possibility that there's a great coach out there that they can get this offseason, Kalen DeBoer may be looking at the exit.
The guys in Oregon. Yeah. The guys in Oregon. That's who their guy is.
Yeah. Dan Lanning. Obviously, he's been rumored for every SEC team over the last 2 years. Moving on, we'll start with you. You've got Boomer Sooner at number 5.
8.5 wins expectation per FanDuel. Oklahoma, Mateer, a lot of returning talent, dangerous team. Kind of like, to me, they're kind of coming into the season almost as a sleeper. They're not getting a ton of attention. Like, we looked at the AP poll, they were top 15 team, like borderline top 10 team. Like, for as good as this team is, I think that they're getting slept on a lot. And they are certainly contender for an SEC title. They've got the talent to do it. They've got the coaching to do it. I like the team. They're my sleeper.
Okay. We both took the Bayou Bengals, Bomber.
We did.
Go ahead and tell them why you've got Lane Kiffin, the fighting Lane Kiffins at number 5.
Because I think he took the karma that was at Ole Miss, and I think he moved it up. I've made that explanation, I think, pretty clear. They took the best staff with them, in my opinion, and I think LSU already had talent. It was their coach that was holding him back, and Kelly is just not. He's not a guy. He builds a program. He's not a guy to get him over. So LSU, you talk about sleeper programs. Whether you're a Lane Kiffin enjoyer or not, he puts teams together that can compete, and I think he has the talent finally on defense to do something about it. So LSU could win the whole shooting match, guys.
Yeah, my only concern about LSU, I like Charlie Weiss Jr., the OC down there, but Sam Levitt remains an enigma to me. Can he get it done? Can he stay healthy? They've certainly supplied him with plenty of talent down there in Baton Rouge. Portal, recruiting, LSU's been on fire. Lane Kiffin, though, man, I think that guy's got some bad karma following him, so I've got him at number 5. All right, moving on. Here's our top 4. We'll start at number 4. Bomber, you've got the Boomer Sooner. Tell us why Oklahoma's in the top 4.
I am on board. Oklahoma, go out and win this thing. Let's go this year. You got a quarterback back. You got a team that has underperformed the last 2 years, and I think this is it. We're going to turn around, Jason. I've got Oklahoma in my final playoff count, and I think they can make some noise. And if Mateer plays anywhere like he did at Washington State, this could be a special season for this Boomer Sooner team. So I'm very high on Oklahoma.
All right. You've got Ole Miss in this slot.
Chambliss, the run last year with Pete Golden in the playoffs provides a little bit of support that this is going to be a good season. They kept a lot of talent in-house. There's going to be some cohesion here. I typically wouldn't pick Ole Miss this high for anything, but I don't know how you can really knock them based on what you've saw last year from them. It was great performance. So they're going to have another shot, guys, at winning the SEC. They've got the talent. This is the last year they're going to have it. Once Chambliss is gone, I think the party's over.
Okay. I've got Texas A&M at number 4, the Aggies. I think they have great trench play, which I think that matters a lot in the SEC when you get down to the nitty-gritty. Marcel Reed, this will be his second year in this offense. The kid is a playmaker. You're right. Reuben Bain was a terror. He terrorized a lot of quarterbacks last year. But I think Marcel Reed he's a playmaker. He's I hate when everybody compares everybody to Patrick Mahomes, but he has that ability. He can get out of a tackle and throw across his body downfield to a receiver who makes a tremendous catch. I think Texas A&M, and I know this is the constant game we have with Texas A&M every single year. Texas A&M may compete for the championship in the SEC.
I think they could. Yeah, I think it's very possible. Yep.
Number 3, I'll start. I've got Ole Miss. I think Trinidad Chambliss, special player. Watched him in the playoffs, watched him at the end of the season last year. Kid's just got some magic in him, and I love that. And Pete Golding, he has brought some players. Dabo Sweeney's not too fond of his recruiting techniques, but he's brought some talent on board. He's kept a lot of talent there. I think Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss, as long as he doesn't get hurt, I think Ole Miss has a real shot at the SEC championship.
They have a defense, Mullen?
Well, when you got a guy like Trinidad Chambliss, sometimes you don't need defense because you can score 59 points.
Yeah, that's why I had him lower. Their defense, there's nothing there that scares people. So, let's see.
You've got the Texas Longhorns here.
I think Texas is a talented team, but a underperforming team historically. I think Arch Manning's a really good player, but he lacks the grit to get it done and win a championship. I think he's too soft to get it done. That basically speaks of who Texas is. I just don't think Texas has got the stuff, the oomph, the grit to actually win a national championship. I think they lose to Ohio State week 1. And I think the season's a good one, but it's not going to be a championship season. They probably sneak in the playoffs, but they're going to be an early exit. And it's going to be a disappointing season in Austin.
Okay. Bomber, you got the Crimson Tide. Tell us why.
I do. I think, and there's two, and I have to go after this pick. I apologize. It's my anniversary this weekend, so I'm going to take off early. But I have Alabama as do or die. I do believe he gets fired if they do not make a run in the playoffs, at least win one game, maybe two. This is not Alabama football. The paradigm's been set.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to go backward. Georgia, it's pretty universal across there. I don't need to really break them down. I picked Texas to win the whole thing, and they're going to be in the semifinals for sure to win the national championship. As much as I put on the coaches at Alabama to win or leave, Sarkisian's on the same sort of TikTok. They have all the resources in the world, and they have underperformed in the last 2 seasons especially. So Sarkisian's going to be under a lot of pressure as well. So both those teams, I think, they're going to go broke or go home. If they go all in and they burn red shirts and they do anything they can to stay competitive, this is the reason they would do that, is because those coaching staffs are under massive amounts of pressure. So that's kind of where I'm at. Ute, thanks for being here tonight. It's great to see you. And I'm glad you had fun last night doing your Cougar Board show. And Moen, thanks again for all the graphics you put in, man. This is fantastic work. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks to the Mafia team for getting together and doing these picks. Believe it or not, it actually takes time that a lot of people don't have. And last but not least, at the beginning of the season, we will put out our playoff predictor on our Discord, and you guys can have every opportunity to put in the teams you think are going to compete for the national championship this year. So thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate you guys. I got a jet. Everybody have a great night. Go Cougars, go Bombers, and go Hawks. Everybody watch that Seattle Seahawks Hard Knocks. Seattle's repeating this year. So we'll go from there. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later.
All right. Thanks, Nate. And thanks for
Moen.
the cream down. Now Club Moen is in full effect here. We are drinking heavy. What are you drinking tonight?
What do you drink? Yeah. Is that XO?
I'm on that XO shit.
Yeah, I've still got the Glenlivet 12-year, man. Just finished off the bottle and stuff. So I was drinking some bourbon though this weekend, man. I actually so check this out, Mo, and then we'll get back to the picks. So Utah has like an allocation of like limited edition liquors that are hard to get elsewhere. If you're going to buy them on the secondary market, you buy them like a cheap retail price at the Utah liquor stores. And so sometimes when like a bottle, like for example, like a Pappy Van Winkle bottle that you can't get and you pay like thousands and thousands for anything, right? Sometimes the Utah liquor stores will get like a case of those and sell them for like $200 or like $150 just at a retail price. And so this weekend went there to an allocation and I got a really good bottle of bourbon. It's Willette brand. Have you ever had Willette bourbon before? Dang, man.
No,
good.
but I will acknowledge I am not a huge bourbon guy.
You know, I'm not either, but I might be after drinking that stuff. It's 6-year Willette. Dang, man. So, but tonight it is Glenlivet 12. So cheers to you. Cheers to the community.
Georgia Tech to everybody out there who is watching.
Georgia Tech up here.
See, we got a super chat that came in here from our friend MBM357. He's got I like that profile picture. Moen, Google Midnight Yell before you assess A&M. I know I'll be disappointed by A&M this year. I'm disappointed by everybody we do these picks for. By the way, guys, do not bet anything based on our picks. Last year, I think everybody on the team was atrocious in their preseason picks. Now, we did make up for it in the pick'em games. We did. There were some of us who actually outpaced Greg, and by some of us, I mean all of us. So thank you for the super chat, MBM. Let me see here. Who do we got? Here we go. We'll play this one for you.
A wild moan can drink up to 3 times its weight in whiskey in an average year. You are watching the Big Freakin' Friday show on College Football Mafia.
Thank you for the super chat, MBM. Do appreciate you, brother.
What did that say?
And I like that profile pic. Topic for thought: why do successful Pacific Northwest coaches always seem to pick a horrible next job, fitment wise? OSU to Michigan State. Well, that was a terrible hire. Although at the time I thought it was a good hire. Washington to Alabama, Washington to USC, Washington State to any. Town Hawk, before we get to any of that, I want you to put some respect on the drip. I want some respect on the drip, sir. Check it out. Neon tie.
Dang, Moan. Dang.
Here at Club Moen, we're having a good time. Featured dancer will be on stage soon. Don't put them Kansas things up here. Not until he respects the drip. When the man respects the drip, then
we gotta have some respect.
But thank you for being a member for 11 months, Town Hawk. I don't know why successful Pacific Northwest coaches move to, but I mean, well, who knows what Mike Leach might have accomplished at Mississippi State? There's
a lot of momentum there.
Yeah, he had some stuff going on there. It just didn't quite work out. But thank you for being a member, Town Hawk. I'll give you a honorary Jayhawk squawk. We'll move on to our top 2 here. You've got an unusual number 1. You've got LSU all the way up at number 1. Gygax has him in his top 4, but you're the only one who has him at number 1. Explain.
I'll tell you what, like, this LSU team is so freaking loaded, Moan. I'm shocked that not more people are picking them. Sam Levitt, Jordan Seaton go to an already talented roster. Not only that, they had the most talented transfer portal of all time. They may be the most expensive roster in the FBS. They spent grundles on this transfer roster. If you want to say what Indiana did when they grabbed all the JMU players and got to the playoff and won a national championship, LSU did it at a premium level with grabbing all the best players all around. I freaking love this roster. It's uber talented. It's unbelievably talented. Lane Kiffin, yes, he bugs everybody, but he's a dang good coach. He wins football games. I see LSU winning the national championship. Not just winning the SEC, the national championship. Playing Oregon in the national championship and beating Oregon.
Bold prediction from you. We know how that turns out. We'll see what Cougar Board has to say about it. I've got Georgia, and then I've got Texas at 2. You could actually swap these 2 out. I think these 2 teams are playing for the SEC championship. Again, I know Kirby Smart has had a couple down seasons. The man has 2 national titles under him. I'm going to put my faith in Kirby Smart to win the SEC this year.
Safe. It is safe.
Yeah. And Texas, I think Texas just has too much talent not to make it. I think Manning is finally settling down. We're going to see how great a player he can be. I think the expectations game caught up with him, especially early on when he had to take up, that Texas-Ohio State game, I think, is going to be very big in determining this because I'm an Ohio State fan, but I think Texas probably wins that based on the fact it's in Texas and it is a night game. And I would just like to remind any Texas fans in the chat that Ohio State wanted to make their game against Texas last season a night game in the shoe, and Texas refused. So, horns down. Horns down.
It's demo.
But I gotta call
Horns
it like
down, man.
Now, here's the interesting one here of everybody in the group. Fergie has South Carolina all the way up at his number 4 slot.
If Lenore Sellers gets hot, man, it's not hard to see why you think that, to me.
All right, fair
You
enough.
agree?
Well, that is. Go ahead, you.
Do you agree that South Carolina can make that type of run?
I don't think so. Just don't have the talent. I like South Carolina. I just don't. They don't have the same kind of roster of talent that like a Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama. They just don't have the same talent, you know. And I think Lenore Sellers, you know, he had that kind of one season. People were wondering after last season, was he a one season wonder? That's going to weigh on him, I think, this season. So we'll see how he plays. Caden the Diesel Freak says Manning is overrated and overhyped. I think he was early on, Caden. I do agree with that. You would have imagined this guy had turned the Gatorade into wine on the sidelines, the way they were talking about him at Texas. And I think that weighed heavy on him. And I think he was maybe able to take some of that weight off his shoulders after last season. So we'll see how they do. But again, I think Texas and Georgia just have too much talent, too much good coaching, too much talent. I can't see the SEC championship game being anything other than Georgia, Texas in my mind.
No way, man. LSU.
Okay.
Dude, seriously? Ramon, before we stop talking about the SEC,
yeah,
I think Becky had a really good comment right here. Like, I work with a lot of Texas A&M Aggies. I love them all. They're fantastic people. They really are. But it is a freaking cult, 100%. Aggie football. I mean, I'm sure you've seen all this stuff. Like, let me ask you this one: are we going to get a strike alert if we show any type of like videos of Texas A&M like chanting stuff on this? Can we react to that? Are we going to get striked if we do that?
It's tough to tell. You
Dang, man.
But listen, listen. Everything is a cult when you get down to it.
No, A&M is different, man. A&M is weird. Like it's amazing weird. If I lived in Texas, I probably would be an A&M dude because I'm weird like that too. But people are crazy, man, down there. Have you seen that in College Station? What they do?
Yeah, I've seen the burning. Well, they don't do the burning bonfire anymore because that one kid, passed away. But yeah, right. I've seen some of the crazy stuff that goes on down at A&M. But I mean, you got to remember, up until a kid died a few years ago at Ohio State in late November, they would jump into Mirror Lake to wake up the spirit of Woody Hayes.
What?
Yeah. So I mean, everybody does some crazy things, especially rivalry week. They do a naked run at Ohio State every year.
No.
Yeah. They do a naked run. I think it's a mile run, but I might be wrong. I wasn't running anywhere in college. I still don't run.
You run to get some beer.
Yeah. Listen, if a saber-toothed tiger was coming up on me, I would just get eaten by the saber-toothed tiger. C. Curtis says Texas, like Notre Dame, wants the cake and to eat it too. Spoiled and think they're more than they actually are.
Yes.
I don't disagree with this, Curtis, but you got to remember, somebody spoiled the child to make them that way. And
what do you mean spoiled the child?
Yes. The Big 12, when they should have stood up for all their members, let Mizzou, Nebraska, Colorado, they let all those great programs go to allow Texas to have the Longhorn Network. So You can't really blame them for being spoiled children when there's people that are actively spoiling them. Notre Dame is no different. The ACC bends over and grabs ankle anytime Pete Bavacqua walks through the door. They get whatever they want. And, again, if you spoil the child, spare the rod, spoil the child. Thank you for
You're sleeping on it. Yeah. You're sleeping on LSU. I'm just going to repeat that. LSU is going to take college football by storm this year. Sam Levitt himself almost freaking beat Texas in the playoff 2 years ago. He was hurt last year, man. That's why Arizona State wasn't any good. This guy is a supreme talent. Man, I just can't believe how good this team is.
Fair enough. Let me see what we got here.
This is Homer, and you're watching Bomber and the Crew on the Big Freaking Friday Show. Woohoo! It's like a touchdown for your eyes on the College Football Mafia. Don't change that channel, or I'll eat your cougar tail. Ha ha!
Thank you, Homer Simpson. Of course, close personal friend, Matt Groening, and Dan Castellaneta cut that promo for us. And
much appreciated.
Every bit of that is true, except all of it. Let's get to some comments here. Thank you for the super chats, by the way, everybody. The gifted memberships, the membership messages. We got MBM357, who's been a member for 20 months. Mafia Utso Face, Mafia Tarleton, Mafia Drank, Mafia Whiskey
Cheers.
Bottle, Mafia Dr. Love, which is me, yours truly. Tarleton State. I think it's next Friday. Tarleton State plays. Yeah, I think it's next Friday. It starts at 10. I'm trying to remember who they play. It doesn't matter. Go Tarleton State. I don't know. I think they call themselves the Texans, but I'm going to call them the Tar Lungs.
No, they're the whites.
Tar Lungs. I mean, North Carolina's the Tar Heels, so Tarleton State's going to be the Tar Lungs.
No, you didn't say that. The Tar Lungs? The lungs?
Lungs.
For Tarleton State?
Okay. Listen, yeah, they're literally, we found a GIF that says it's lit.
Yeah.
How far off could we have been when you guys first brought up Tarleton State? And I said, there is no way that sounds like a pack of cigarettes. It sounds like a tobacco company. And then I looked it up and we found a GIF that says it's lit. And it shows a tower that looks exactly like a cigarette. I mean, God does not play dice with the universe, you.
No.
He simply doesn't. Tarleton State was founded just to prove us right in 2026, 2025. I think we need to do some more Tarleton State ads on the channel. Maybe
where's that weird turtle Tarleton that you had?
Oh yeah. I forget what his name was now, but yeah, he was a Tarleton turtle.
Is that the Tarleton?
I don't know if I have that anymore,
what?
or if I've transferred it to another thumb drive. I have to go back and get a lot of my Tarleton stuff off of Gemini.
Tarleton State Smokers.
There you go. The chain smokers.
I do like the Tar Lungs, though. That's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. You got Tar Heels in North Carolina, and you got Tar Lungs, and well, here's one. Here we go. Let me pull this one up. Let's see what this is.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's pull up a little Tarleton ad for the audience here. No.
I love Tarleton.
StreamYard says you can't put that up, apparently. So
you can't put it up? We're going to get copyright striked?
Yeah, I don't know. StreamYard, again, this is clearly a feature, not a bug, that they won't let me upload an image file. So I've got a Tarleton ad pinned to my Twitter feed. Go to @MoAndAfterDark and you can see one. Can I be the anti-Greg Bay on this channel?
What do you think, Moan?
I hate to say it, but I don't know who the fuck Greg Bay is. Should I know who Greg Bay is?
That might be a misspell. It's Greg Bay. Greg Bay. There's no Greg Bay. That's a misspell. That's Greg Flugar. Anti-Greg Flugar or something on this channel, I think.
How do you misspell Flugar as Bay?
Well, dude, look. I mean, it's a fast type. I'm going to give him a break. But look, the channel was misspelled to the K.
Yourself, please, before I continue to bury Greg Bay.
It's Chanek. It doesn't say channel 2. So I get it. I fat finger stuff all the time.
Mark's Holy Grail says, happy freaking Friday, Bomber, Mo, and Wild
right,
Ute, and
man.
CFB Mafia chat. Thank you. The penultimate Big Freaking Friday show before we do week 0.
That's wild. Man, what an
Cheers.
off season it's been. What an off season. When's the last time you talked to the wizard, Moan?
I talked to him the other day.
Juice?
Did Moen post Utes, Bayo, and Provo? Hey guys, I'm not saying to get this trending on Twitter, but if we
I didn't do that.
If we could get Professor Poop at the Wild Ute going, hashtag Professor Poop, I think that would be great. That would make me really happy to wake up tomorrow morning with a hangover and look in there and see trending Professor Poop.
Don't start this stuff. Don't do it.
Becky Gohusky says, Cougar Board is the first time I've ever seen G-rated insults.
Yeah, Cougar Board.
The best one was the guy who called you a doofus and then misspelled doofus. Rock and Rant says, just remember, only look at my picks. Save yourself money.
Let's go. That's how you do it right there. The swag.
Antoine L. Johnson, Sun Devil in the house. He said, Cougar Bowl trolls were too nice. I heard more venom from kids in my kindergarten class. I haven't checked Cougar Board to see if there was any feedback on that show. I think I might have to do that after the show tonight.
No, I'll just look it up right now. Let's just take a look at it. Cougar Board's easy to access.
They called us caca poo-poos.
No, the Antoine was right last night. It's basically the insults were the equivalent of 6th grade saying you're a poo-poo head. I mean, that's basically it, right?
Well, you went to one of those nice schools. In 6th grade, we weren't using terms like poo-poo head. Marcus Williams says, if you call that bullying, then you haven't seen bullying. The eye patch just says, go Utes. I wonder why that was starred.
Yeah, right? That was definitely neat.
Mizzou has been playing the training wheel schedule for 2 years for sure. They are not this season. Mizzou back to the bottom. Hall of Fame college football with Jason Watkins. Obviously, if you don't know, he is a Sooner fan. So he is obviously, he's a Big 8 guy. He remembers the Mizzou teams of old. So Tawtown Hawk says you just drinking Old Crow guaranteed.
Moan. Old Crow. I had bad experiences with Old Crow, so I can't drink that crap. No. I've had it before plenty of times.
I'm going to save you some trouble. Nobody has a good experience with Old Crow.
It's horrible.
And
we got a super chat here too.
Club Moen, a den of iniquity and moral turpitude, no smoking unless it's a Tarleton or unless it's that happy smoke, that green corn as the Amish call it. Yeah, no tobacco.
Moen, I've only got 4 more Tarletons. This is the last pack alive,
you've been smoking through that pack. Golly, you.
4 more. That's all I've got for the Tarleton.
I'm surprised your neighbors haven't reported you.
You know what? They might have.
Thank you for the super chat. We'll get off promos. We'll play a real sounder for you here. Let's see. Yeah, we haven't played some of the crew ones in a while. How about this one?
You saying you can't control your bitches?
Pimpin' ain't easy. Oh, sleazy. Pimpin' ain't easy. Pimpin' ain't easy. Pimpin' ain't easy.
By the way, it's Nate's anniversary this weekend. Anniversary.
You know what? I should throw that cougar up there.
That's I just put those, quote anniversary. I'm just saying we all know what Nate does during the nighttime. He's got a strong hand and quite as stable. Let's just put it that way. Thank you for the super chat, MBM, by the way. I thought Utah was a dry state. Here is the thing, MBM. I actually researched this. In Utah, you can get any type of liquor. You have to fill out an application for it. And you have to be willing to buy like a certain number of bottles for them to import it in.
Oh, so if you're trying to ship me a liquor bottle, that's the rule?
No, but if like when we were doing the Mad Dog 2020 challenge, I said, let me see if I can find somebody who in Utah who carries Mad Dog 2020. Apparently people in Utah are too good for the Mad Dog. So I looked up the regulations at the liquor store, and the liquor store said, yeah, we'll order it if you buy a case of it.
We probably should have got a case of that. It's hard to get, man. Mad Dog's gross, though. It's gross.
Well, hey, look, man, it's not, it does what it does. It's a dog. It does what it does.
It's going to be better than you and your durian feeding frenzy here at the end of the season.
You're going to eat that ass fruit at the end of the season, pal.
No, you're going to be eating that. You're going to be eating that all night long.
The eye patch 11. So you guys whip out the alcohol after the LDS guy leaves. Hilarious. No, I've been drinking steady since before the show. So,
so usually how Mona and I have I just noticed this and everything. Usually when we go to the second segment, we usually have our Glen Carn glasses, Moan, right? Do you have yours tonight? Yeah, there we go. See, we pull those out. Have some, have a dram. Maybe there's more than a dram in there. I was educated on the show.
I just pour enough in there to drink. So,
yeah, exactly.
Daryl CRH says, "Boo BYU."
Yeah.
Okay. Shotsky lets you know it's a lot cheaper if you go to Wendover. Wow.
It is. It's hard to get out there. It's a 2-hour drive into nothingness.
MBM is taking a rye and blended scotch for myself.
Like it. MBM, curious, what is your favorite blended scotch?
Okay.
Yeah.
We already got the Becky's thing about A&M being a cult. Vox Quindaro says, "What's up, punks? You're looking at it. We're in Club Moen. I'm in Club Moen. You is in Utah in the safe arms of no fun. Everybody has to be in their house by 9 p.m.
No, Moen. It's not like that.
It's
not like that here.
Tarleton State sponsored by Cool Menthol Cigarettes. I hate menthol cigarettes.
It's lit, baby. Dude, I love Tarleton. We got to get a sponsorship with the school somehow. What's the odds that we can get a sponsorship with Tarleton State?
Yeah, I used to hate it when I was a smoker and go to bum a cigarette from someone and they give it to me and I realized it was a menthol. Like, I mean, it's just, come on. Smoke a cigarette. Don't smoke a breath mint. Nasty.
I thought menthols were easier to smoke, though, right? I thought a menthol, they're easier to smoke than normal.
I mean, if you ain't got a pair of testicles, probably. But the rest of us smoke them non-filter Tarletons. No filter, just straight tobacco. And when you get that hole put in your throat.
What do you mean no filter?
No
you
filter?
Make a cigarette? Is that what you're doing?
You've never heard of no filter cigarettes?
Dude, well, I'm looking here, like, here, these Tarleton, right? We got to be careful. I don't got too many of these left. Like, look, the filter's this, right? The filter's that part. Yeah, it's like, what do you mean no filters? Like you're just smoking.
That
like
part is filled with tobacco. It is just tobacco on the front and tobacco on the back. Non-filters, buddy. I used to.
How do you even smoke that?
Hey, listen, I used to when I was a younger man, in the not so nice part of Columbus. I worked at a convenience store, third shift, and I had a guy who had one of these doctors right here come in, who had a hole in his neck. And he smoked non-filter Camels right through that hole.
You're lying. No way.
He would literally go outside, light up, and smoke from his neck. And to me, I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that's dedication. That is dedication. If you're going down with that is dedication.
There's so many questions I've got about that.
I also had a customer. She was a real nice lady. She only had one arm. Called her Bandit.
Yeah,
because she was a one-arm bandit. She had one arm and she was mute. So she would come in with her one arm and reach around the counter and and then let me know she needed 2 packs of Marlboro Reds. You meet a lot of interesting, let me just put it this way. You meet a lot of interesting people working third shift at a convenience store.
I mean, the guy, that is dedication. I mean, that is. I've got questions,
look,
but
hey, you take my larynx, I'm still going to smoke them right through the hole in my neck.
Just one question about that. This is all I'm going to ask. Okay? Like, how do you get a grip on like the cigarette to do that? Like
dedication.
I'm seriously,
practice.
I'm just because like you need to at least like grasp in your mouth like the cigarette and hold it in place so you can breathe in.
He would take this thing out and put it. It would just be that hole, and he would put that cigarette right up to it and light it.
Those were definitely unfiltered.
They were non-filtered, Camel non-filters every time.
Yeah.
The other guy Gax with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. He says, I have my hashtag Professor Poop X posting up. Thank you. Let's get that trending, people, if we could. Professor Poop. Hashtag
Dang
Professor
it.
Poop.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop
Tag
it.
the Wild You in that. Tag Cougar Board in that if you would.
So context here, like somebody on Cougar Board at some point in time blamed me for someone that, okay, so last night's episode, going back, we talked about message board material from Cougar Board. Somebody on Cougar Board blamed me for the guy that's pooping in their halls. Why that? I have no idea. Come on, why does that happen?
Well, look, have we ever seen you around when the pooping had took place?
I mean, I was probably doing a live stream when I was doing it.
I doubt it. I doubt if it was, he was just using a hologram so he could go poop on BYU.
Oh my gosh.
The eye patch says Cougar Board is the Utah version of the vagina monologues. Hilarious. No, it's not hilarious. I had a girl take me to go see the vagina monologues. I was stoked. Worst 2 hours of my life. There were no vaginas whatsoever. Don't fall for it. Just a lady reading stories about them. Yogi Buck says first grade we used poo-poo head.
Mm-hmm.
Fergie,
it's not surprising. It's not surprising to hear that stuff. Like those trolls are what I'm used to. When you've lived in the state of Utah for your almost whole life, like I have, there's like that's when you're called something like Cougar Board calls you, it stings, Mon. I know exactly how vindictive that can be. Stings.
Yeah. It stings. Like a carpenter bee stings. Fergie says, Moen, my grandpa was a Pall Mall unfiltered, bud, heavy drinking, wife beater, tea, stud. Loved hanging out in the mountains with him. Absolutely. Non-filter all the way. All the way.
Unfiltered.
Thank you, Fergie. Appreciate that. Let's
Thank you,
play another
Fergie.
one.
Moen is using and abusing us.
Can I say? I'm a serial user and abuser. Townhawk says, when you smoke that much, you figure it out. You absolutely true.
Yeah, and that nails. That is nails.
Listen,
That's
I had a mom who died of COPD. She would smoke with that fucking oxygen tube in. She'd had that oxygen tube. She'd light a cigarette. They say it's flammable. Don't do that. Didn't care. Didn't care. I mean, nicotine is a hell of a drug. Hell of a drug for people. But I will say this. I saw enough people. You know, I used to be one of those smokers that says, well, you got to die of something. Then I got cancer. I realized there are a lot better ways to die than in a hospital bed in constant freaking pain. So
yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Town Hawk. Did I play him a sounder? I don't remember.
Give him the Jayhawk squawk, please.
Let's give him this one.
They've been sucking you, and you're sick of it. I get it.
Hashtag Professor Poop.
You suck.
Kenneth Maynard with the $5 super chat. The best combination would be a menthol cigarette brand field logo and a malt liquor jersey patch. Maybe Colt 45. Hey, man, you got to go back to the 90s for Colt 45. It's all about the King Cobra. At least when I was working at the convenience store, all about the King Cobra.
What was the APV on that thing?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I never drank one, but sold a lot of them. Sold a lot of them at King Cobra. That was the thing then. I don't know what the new malt liquor thing is. Old English was another one that was popular. Old English.
Oh yeah, Old English was popular.
But I mean, in the 90s, like early 90s, Colt 45 was it because it had Billy D. Williams. And Billy D. Williams was out there pimping that Colt 45, and you know, he was a smooth dude, cooler than the other side of the pillow. Thank you for the super chat. I guess I owe you another sound effect. Let me see here. Here, we'll do one on me.
Mowing is the word. Mowing is the word. All right? I give you permission on this day to say mowing.
Thank you, KOAB. We appreciate that. Oh, well, I forgot to read that. BYU fan, but okay, let me try this again. BYU fans don't troll. Yeah, they weren't very good at it.
They try to troll.
They
just have a different. They have a different variation of it.
Anybody that has ever lived in a dorm has dealt with a phantom pooper.
What?
Never dealt with a phantom pooper. We had a waffle stomper.
What?
You don't know what a waffle stomper is?
No.
That is somebody who finds it too inconvenient to actually use the toilet, so they will just go in the shower and do their business in the shower and then stomp it down the drain.
You're lying. No way.
I'm not. It's called a waffle stomper, and we had one.
No way. I don't believe that at all.
And when
Are you
we figured out
serious?
who it was, they kept saying they were sick.
No way.
Yes way. Yogi Buck says neither do Miami fans. Vox Quindaro says bring back Falstaff. See what I can do. Trolling for BYU fans is simply not letting you have any ice cream at a game as a Miami fan.
It's kind of true. Oh man.
My buddy got tricked into seeing The Devil Wears Prada because the girl said it was a horror movie. Listen, I don't know, but listen, I just like when she told me she had 2 tickets to go see the vagina monologues, I was all for it because I'm like,
I bet.
let's freaking go. And about 23 minutes in, I said, is this lady just going to tell stories for 2 hours?
The disappointment.
Yes. The John Dry said Ron White's sister had a book about her vagina. It was nasty. Okay. I mean, I really don't know how you would get a whole book about one, but I guess must have had an interesting one. Bring back Schlitz. Yeah, there you go.
Schlitz.
But Schlitz is no longer available.
Moen, I've got something to show you here. Let me pull it up, okay? So get to another comment, and I'm going to share something with you.
Okay. MBM says non-filtered Lucky Strikes like me in World War II. Yes. Lucky Strikes means fine tobacco or let's screw my fingers tired. All right. What do you got for me, you?
Okay, so did you see the article today about like the Monster Energy logo, like the doctors coming out against it? Did you see that at all? Is that ringing a bell for you?
Well, hey, look, I didn't see the article, but I agree with them. I wouldn't have taken $20 million for that deal. But I mean, what are you going to do? You got a shitty commissioner.
No, there's actually doctors out there, like real doctors that are saying like that you shouldn't have an energy drink sponsor for your conference logo because it's bad for children to drink energy drinks. Did you see anything about that? Well, okay, that happened today. That is like the debate over the last day, 2 days, and everything is like the Monster deal, despite everything with it. Now doctors are speaking out against it. So I'm thinking we should just get a new jersey patch sponsor for the Big 12, okay? And Kenneth Maynor inspired me for like a new sponsor, right? I need a new sponsor here. And like, if we're just going to throw health consequences out the window and stuff, because we're already using Monster, might as well go with somebody we want to for a jersey sponsor deal. What do you think of that? What do you think of that, Moan?
Colt 45. Listen, again, Colt 45 wasn't that popular outside the early 90s. It was late 90s. It was all about the King Cobra and the Old English.
Can't we go with a Colt 45 or something, right? As a jersey sponsor?
If you can get Billy D. Williams to start cutting ads for it again. Or
I think it looks
some
great.
other cool, guy to do it. I mean, listen, Billy D. Williams told you Colt 45 was good. You went out and tried it because Billy D. Williams told you to. Billy D. Williams could sell a ketchup popsicle to a lady wearing white gloves, you. That's how good Billy D. Williams was.
I think it looks great. It actually fits a lot better than the Monster logo.
You might make more money off of it too, but your commissioner wouldn't let that.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's amazing. I mean, we could really craft some amazing conference jersey logos.
The eye patch says, "Smoke some Thai stick. Get back to me." As Cheech once referred, yeah, that stuff that's tied to a stick.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be more specific, Vox. Bring back 1975 Schlitz before the recipe changed. Vox Quindaro says printed on the bottom of every pack of Lucky Strikes was LSMFT. Like Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, or as we always said, let's screw, my finger is tired.
Wow.
PSA, don't hold the cigarette too tightly on the filter, and because it renders the filter pretty useless.
So if you squeeze the filter too much, it basically becomes an unfilter. Is that what we're saying here? Is that the idea?
I guess. Marcus Williams says, Moen, you had to have lived in the hood. Hey, we lived where we could afford to live in university. You know what I mean? But wouldn't change it for anything in the world. Met a lot of interesting people. You know, so. Even the Ibis and the Notre Dame Leprechaun lost their pipes and have not won a natty since.
Man, the Leprechaun did have a pipe, right? That's right. I remember that. Do you remember that?
Hey, look, I was trying to explain it to my neighbor's kids the other day when I was down there visiting him. It's like, you know, in my day and age, marijuana was illegal, and now it's just like it's readily available. So Vox Quindaro says Jerry curled Billy D for Colt 45. Not only Jerry curled with a mullet. A Jerry curled mullet Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams in the original Batman as Harvey Dent, the movie. Old English, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Absolutely. Moen, did you work at a 7-Eleven? I did not. It was actually a family-owned convenience store. Korean family owned it. But, yeah, I mean, listen. Worked third shift, listen to Art Bell. Would go home and get like an hour of sleep, and then it would be off to a lecture. So,
dang, Moan.
Yeah, you got to do what you
Ohio
got to do.
State.
Yeah, it's got to do what you got to do. Had to pay rent somehow, you know. I got sick drinking too much King Cobra in high school. I think anybody would get sick drinking any King Cobra, but that's, you know.
You know, the high school experience out in Utah is very different, as you can imagine, Moan. There's really not a lot of drinking.
Yeah, again, it's Utah. It's like, to me, I view it as like an Outer Limits episode where you go into some kind of dystopian future where everybody's happy and there's re-education camps and all that stuff. So,
like the Stepford Wives or something?
Yeah, that's sort of. Tom Dubé says Thunderbird Light. Damn it.
Thunderbird Light. Do you remember that?
I don't remember a light Thunderbird. I just remember Thunderbird, and it was nasty. It was some kind of Swedish liquor, Meltort or something. It was nasty. But you know, they used to sell that. I used to sell that one as well. They did have Thunderbird. You would get your bird in a skirt. You know, that's what they would come in and ask for. Give me a bird in a skirt. Well, here you go. And the worst part was they had to keep Thunderbird behind the counter. Like, who in the hell would want to steal Thunderbird?
What?
Yeah. Thunderbird they'd keep behind the counter. There were a lot of stuff that, you know, high value, I don't know high value, but, you know, high propensity to be stolen items would be kept behind the counter. Shoelaces would be kept behind the counter. You know, and they used to sell these like pipes with little roses. They were crack pipes. I mean,
Christmas.
Brillo was kept behind the counter. So,
ooh, have you ever had this?
Malort. Yes, that's it's nasty. It's a Chicago liquor.
No, I had that when I was in Chicago.
Yeah, Jepson's is the preferred Malort of Chicago. I guess it's a rite of passage if you go to Chicago to have a drink of Malort. I had one. You know that
I didn't think it was that bad.
It pretty much explains that I had one.
Yeah.
I was offered another second free one. I said no. I'll just pay for the next drink.
Yeah, when out in Chicago last month, when again no Northwestern fans were anywhere. I'm telling you, Mon, it was scary. There were Notre Dame fans, yes. There were Ohio State, Michigan fans. I was wearing my Utah shirt, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, you're a Ute fan. We love you in Chicago." Man, the love, I tell you what, is crazy. We're just like, hey, we got to do the Chicago thing. We had to have Malort, There's a certain type of like relish too that you have to have out there. Like it's a Chicago thing, man. It's good.
I don't know. Listen, Chicago cuisine, it ain't for me. Deep dish pizza, that's a freaking casserole. MBM 357 says King Cobra were like $1.99. $1.99. This was back in the late 90s when I was in university. So
King Cobra, is that just like
it's malt liquor.
It's like, yeah.
It's a 40 ounce of malt liquor. It is.
People bring those in tailgate, or is that just like a weekend type of deal?
Listen, it was not a very high-end community that I was working in at the time. It was people that would come in and get a pack of cigarettes, King Cobra, come back in about an hour later, get another King Cobra, come back in about an hour later, get another King Cobra. But you know what? Nobody ever tried to rob me. Nothing like that happened. Everybody who came into the shop was cool as shit with me. So, and I, yeah. Skaven, yes, said, thanks, Mo, needed that sounder. Uh, 65, was it contended? I think it means contended. Have another drink, Moen. Hilarious. In fact, I've actually got people visiting from out of town, so I will drink right after the show with them. We'll probably finish off this bottle. But yeah, unfortunately, guys,
we need to get Moen another Crown XO. It's his favorite. When he drinks it, he gets happy, and we have good Big Freaking Friday shows, which is fun for everyone, including me, Moen. We need to get you more of that stuff.
All right, well, let's do it. Get some super chats in here, some gifted memberships, man. Let's get that XO fun going. Pit Snipe Husker says, "Yep, waffle stompers, 100%." And you're disgusting people if you waffle stomp.
That's not a thing. I don't believe
it. It is a thing. It is a thing. It is a thing.
You made it up, dude.
No,
you made it up.
You know what sucks? I was in college before camera phones existed, or I would show you the memo that got sent out to everybody in the dormitory about it. And when they finally caught the guy, he claimed he was sick. And it's like, how have you been sick for like the last month and a half shitting in the shower, bro?
No way, man.
Yes way. You know how dorm showers are. Did you live in a dorm at K-State or Utah?
No, I went to Utah. Our dorms weren't quite like that. We'd have like we wouldn't have like a huge community and stuff, like shower area and stuff. You'd have like 4 rooms, and like you'd have like a shower that you'd share, and like a bathroom with like, you know, 3 other people. So four guys. That's how like the suites were and everything at the University of Utah. So did everyone like share all the showers? Were like 20, 30, 50 guys sharing showers?
No. That's not what I'm saying. It was a community shower, but I mean, it had one shower head. They were separated showers. But, you know, somebody would go to use a shower and you could look at the drain and clearly see that somebody had attempted to
no way
down the drain. And that's why
I've never heard of anything like that.
Because the drain grate, you know, you're stomping it looks like a waffle. So,
dude,
there you go. Hey, enjoy that story for this evening on Big Freaking Friday Show, guys. Ice House was popular too. We're gonna get through some more comments. Anything has to be, must be. Red has to be a super chat, guys, because I got to get out of here. Moen monologue, you were tricked because all you heard was vagina. Absolutely. When I heard vagina, my mind thought, hey, you know, this is going to be great. There's going to be a bunch of different vaginas and people talking about them. And there were no vaginas present. There were none. It was just a lady sitting on a chair talking about frickin' coochie snorchers. Schlitz is just a name now. You're absolutely right. They changed the formula. Tarleton Bold for when your cardiologist tells you to stay off Monster. Yeah, that brings me up. I almost forgot I wanted to bring this up. Monster Energy is bad for kids. Well, that's, how are kids getting Monster Energy without parents giving them money?
I think they're kind of saying that like 14, 15, 16-year-olds, they might have a job, part-time job, can buy Monster. And Monsters are, I'll tell you what, like energy drinks are insanely popular in Utah. Like it's crazy. Like I work with a lot of people that will drink a couple energy drinks a day and stuff. And so they're really popular out here. Kids, adults, a lot of people drink.
Here's the thing. I hate this when people try and eliminate fun for adults because it might affect kids. That's a situation where parents just need to parent their children. Stop trying to deny me all the joys in life because you refuse to parent your children. I'll say it, It's like these kids get a hold of energy drinks. Well, are you not parenting your children? I can't say anything. I was smoking dope at 16. So,
There was something sneaky though. That's what came out. That was the article today, yesterday. But a lot of people think the conspiracy theory is that somebody in the Big 12 was trying to rile up support for doctors to petition against this because they hate the deal. So there's a leak from the inside, and this was caused by somebody that disliked the deal. That's what there's no sourcing behind that. That's what the conspiracy theorists say. The deal's so bad that people inside the Big 12 are trying to get it eliminated.
Well, you know what else they say, the conspiracy theorists? They say you're the one who eliminated on the West Concourse at BYU in the hot tub with the Duke. Mullen, are you going to buy that new Crown Royal bottle they got out? I don't know. If it's a new Crown Royal I've never had before, I would probably do it. I will say I had the Crown Royal Marquis. The stuff that was aged in rum barrels, did not like it, was not a fan of it. But I have to wait and see if it's coming to my market because, Crown usually rolls these out into different markets first to test them out. So I'm not going to drink that Crown Royal chocolate. If you're asking me about flavored Crown Royal, no.
Now, Mullen likes the normal Crown Royal or the XO bottle of Crown Royal. Those are the two. It depends on what kind of night.
The single malt, I had the single malt. It was very good. I had the Noble Barley edition. It was very good. But I like this XO, man. It's Crown Royal aged in cognac barrels. What can I say?
Yeah.
Need I say more?
No, it's nice.
John Dry says, I never wanted a Thunderbird.
I've never had a Thunderbird. I've never even heard of Thunderbird before. You're going to be in a lower income communities. You're going to find a Thunderbird. What's the word? Thunderbird. What's the price? Mighty nice. I had Lucky Strikes and Pall Malls in my C rations I was given in the military in the 70s. Yeah. A lot of people, World War II especially, that's how you determine your brand of cigarettes. Whatever the Army gave you, that's what you came back and smoked. St. Ides was our cheap 40. Yeah, listen, there's lots of cheap malt liquor. No doubt. Let me go through here and see if I can catch anything. In our dorm, we shared the floor shared the showers and they were separated. Yeah, that's the same way at Ohio State. Yeah, it was blocked off so that you'd have in ours, at least at the University of Utah, you'd have two main rooms. You'd have a roommate, and then you'd have a shared bathroom with another set of roommates, right? So you'd have 4 people. That's it. And so you're not sharing the shower with a ton of people, right? So that's, man, if you ran into that situation, what'd you call it again?
A waffle stomper.
Dude, That's blowing my mind. Oh, man.
Tom Dubay says a good cognac is hard to beat. I've never had a cognac before, to be quite honest with you, but I've had whiskey that's aged in cognac barrels, and it's quite good. So, Fergie says Zima for the win.
Zima.
That was the thing in the late
Zima was
90s.
good. Zima was good, man. I like
I'm
Zima.
sure for you it was. You and your preppy friends going to the bar to drink a Zima. You probably had your collars popped too, didn't you?
No.
Pop them, get double collars popped, go in there and say, yes, me and my friends would like a round of Zimas, please.
Can we get a Zima, please? We're going to go play some tennis. Let's have a Zima.
Yes. We're going to have some Zimas before we go on the boat. Jeremiah Weed makes a sweet tea vodka.
Jeremiah, like, yeah, that's a. Have you ever had Jeremiah weed? It's like it's a tea, right? I've had something with them before.
Okay, I've never had it. Can't say I've had it, but
West thing.
Hey, listen, I bought like 4 or 5 bottles of Crown XO since I started drinking it. So I mean, I'm a red-blooded American. I find something I like, I stick with it. You was in the Uptown dorms.
No, I really wasn't.
By the Waffle Stomper, he was in the civilized dorms. Absolutely.
Look, University of Utah had nice dorms when I was there, when I was an undergrad, because the Olympics had just came through like 6 years before. So all the dorms were nice at that time. That's the only reason, is because the Olympics, that's where the Olympians lived in for the Winter Olympics. So we were just lucky at that time. Nobody had a crappy dorm. I'm sure it's crappy now. It's been 20 years or whatever.
Listen, I lived in the dorm for my freshman year, and then I moved out. I moved off campus. Could not do it. I mean, I was brushing my teeth literally one morning, and a guy came up to the other sink and flopped his Johnson out and started washing it with soap. Said, "Gotta wash the AIDS off." And I said, I got to move out of here. I cannot do this. Cannot do it. I used to have that name a few times when 20 and lit. I don't know what that was in reference to, but I'm sure it was funny. 1 or 2 more comments here. I feel like I'm at an online AA meeting. Hilarious. Absolutely.
Are we still on Twitter too? Are we posting?
Yeah.
Twitter?
I went to AA just so I could drink under an assumed name. And by the way, don't go to AA meetings and say anything about drinking. They are very upset. Very upset. They do not tolerate that at all. It's like, I went in there and like, yeah, I mean, I would never drink again, but it's like, I don't know if, somebody that, listen, if, Joey Ramone came up and said, have a drink with me. You can drink with Joey Ramone, right? I mean, come on, Joey Ramone.
Right.
Yeah, they'll throw you out of AA for saying that. Those chips they give you don't have any value either, guys. You can't spend them in a casino. Bartles and James and Zima was the advent of designer beverages. Yeah, Bartles and James. That was definitely chick drink. White girl wasted right there. I lived on the room above the dance floor in the frat house, cheapest room in the house.
Yeah.
$100 a month. Absolutely. Just get you some noise canceling headphones. It'll be fine.
Oh, man.
Kenneth Maynard says, I lived the dorms for my junior and senior year, transferred in. Okay. Those AA folks get pissed when you bring a cooler. Absolutely.
Dang.
I wasn't even there for myself. I was there for a friend. And when they were like, I would never drink, I was like, yeah, but I mean, come on, I don't know, Archie Griffin came in and said, let me buy you a drink. Would you tell Archie Griffin no? You ain't gonna have a drink with Archie Griffin. And, just it's allowed. I liked Bartles and James and shared them freely. Yogi Buck, you have now been put on the list. We were smart. We got the girls' Sprite remix and laughed at them if they acted drunk. Fair enough. Bartles. Zima tasted like alcohol Sprite. Yeah, Zima
It
had a weird taste.
No, Zima was pretty good. Better than like others, like, if you had a Boone's Farm, right? Zima was better. Zima was decent. Remember the commercials too? Zima. Zima.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because they were serving a lot of those during the vagina monologues.
Yes.
I don't think we have any super chats or membership milestones to go through, so we're going to wrap it up for this episode of the Big Freaking Friday Show here on the College Football Mafia Network. Apologies for the lateness. Apologies for the technical issues earlier in the show. We hope you enjoyed our SEC preview for 2026. Let us know what we got right. Let us know what we got wrong. Comment and give me heap praise upon me for my drip, and heap praise upon you for his golden chain. And tune in on Sunday when myself and Rock do Mowing After Dark. Will Club Mowing still be open? I think we've got featured dancer Jessica coming to the stage. Put your hands together here, folks, for Jessica. We will catch you guys on Sunday, but until then, we will see you next Friday right here on the College Football Mafia Network. Until then, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Peace out, stay safe, etc., etc. You have any last words, you?
Etc.
Etc.
Big freaking Friday show, yeah.